So, I'm no thank you. This is Dotes, mate. We're here to talk about the ethics of veganism. Now, we want to make it very clear that we have nothing against vegans as a diet. We don't think we have any authority over what you put in your body. That's completely up to you. It's perfectly legitimate to be vegan. Maybe you just don't like the taste or texture of meat and dairy and stuff. That's fine. Go ahead. Maybe you're just vegan because of dietary requirements, reasons, or anything like that. We have no problem with that.
Yeah. And even if you're vegan for moral reasons, who fucking cares?
Yeah, who cares? We have no problem with you. We're critiquing the ideology, not the people. You're not a bad person if you're a vegan. You're probably a better person than us. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, veganism is fucking stupid. So, here's the first point against the vegan ideology. You have this hierarchy of sapiens. At the very top of the hierarchy of sapiens, of life on Earth, you've got humans, probably dolphins, probably sperm whales, and stuff like that, right?
Fucking primates.
Primates are one step below.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees, bonobos, really smart, stuff like
fucking
that.
ravens.
Ravens, these are slightly below humans, but still really smart. You go a little further down, you get to just mainly mammals in general, most birds. A little further down than that, you get to reptiles and some birds that are really stupid. And then below that, actually, we forgot to mention mushrooms. Mycelial, this is my personal schizo theory. Mycelial networks, probably close to chimpanzee type intelligence, maybe higher. We don't know. Mycelial networks are it's hard to compare mushroom consciousness with animal consciousness because they're very different. But they're probably quite intelligent. But not the mushrooms, because the mushrooms are just the sexual reproductive organs of the mycelium, which is the main body of the plant. And mycelial mats can be massive. They can be kilometers, and they're all interconnected. It's crazy shit. Sorry, distracted. And then you've got vascular plants. That's most plants, trees, flowers, grass, etc. Then below that, non-vascular plants, mosses and mugworts. These are some of the most basic life forms. And on the same level as mosses and mugworts, mollusks, clams, mussels, oysters. Mollusks have no sensory organs, no brain, not even a nervous system. They only are just a muscle that pumps water through itself and has a filtration mechanism built in that takes the nutrients, collects some of the nutrients, and then expels the cleaned water. They are so basic. They have no brains. There's no way their consciousness. They don't move. They stay still. Clams sometimes flap around, but they don't have eyes or any sensory organs. So they just sort of flap around, like jellyfish or something. They have nothing. They're super, super, super basic organisms. But vegans won't eat them simply because they're made of a different material than plants. They're just made of flesh. That's the only reason. But there's no logical reason for vegans not to eat mollusks on an ethical level. And on an environmental level, mollusk farms are extremely good for the environment. They're really good for farming. You can farm mollusks extremely efficiently, and they clean the water they're in, and it's very, very close to their natural habitat when you farm mollusks. They are objectively, mollusk farms are so good they are used to fix environmental problems because they're so good at cleaning the water. Mussels, especially, oysters, especially, really good at cleaning dirty water, etc. And on top of all of this, delicious. You know what? I'm gonna get some mollusks out of the fridge real quick.
So I'm gonna go on my fucking rant about the honey question. So this has always bothered me about the vegan ideology, is that they absolutely refuse to eat honey. And it seems like a thing that's hey, I'm competing with other vegans, who can be the most vegan and avoid any animal exploitation and shit, right? But the thing with bees is they can just fucking leave. Bees will just fucking fly away.
If they don't like you, they'll just leave. They're only there because you're giving them a good life and they want to be there.
Yeah, it's but you have to smoke the bees so they don't fucking...
You mad vegans?
Shut the fuck
Sorry.
up. But yeah, like fucking honey, right? The bees aren't getting hurt by the smoke, they're just getting fucking high. Like you just give bees basically drugs so they won't fucking sting you, which is like fine in my book, right? And there's nothing wrong with honey. It's not created by like animal exploitation per se. You just create a mechanism by which bees can generate a surplus large enough that you can just have some of it. You give them a life so fucking good that you can get some fucking excess honey, which they don't need to use to feed their offspring, right? And the bees are happy, you're happy, you're getting fucking honey. It's delicious. There's nothing wrong with it. Like there's no fucking industrial bee farms.
It's a perfect mutual aid symbiotic relationship. It's classic. It happens all the time in nature. But for some reason, well, for reasons that are the basis of the ethics of veganism, for mistaken ideas about the world and how it operates, that they don't see themselves like this. And we'll get into that a little later once we've established more foundational stuff.
Industrial farming?
I'm going to talk about the arbitrariness of which animals vegans choose to eat and don't eat. So like mollusks are super low life forms, but they won't eat them. We draw a line. We draw an arbitrary line too. Your line's arbitrary as a vegan, which is you won't eat things made of flesh, only things made of plant matter or mushroom fungal matter, which is weird because mushrooms are way closer to animals than they are to plants. But anyway, and we draw a line too. We only eat prey animals, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about this? I'm ranting too much.
Yeah, like it always fucking weirds me out when people eat like predators. Like it's not like a conscious or ethical or moral thing really. It's just hey, that's really fucking weird to me, right? Like oh, you eat you fucking go hunt a mountain lion, you eat a mountain lion. Like okay, it might be good for the local ecosystem, right? It might control the population and whatever. But like to me, it's really fucking weird to eat predator animals. Like the same goes with like dogs and cats, right?
Yeah.
The reason why like I don't like eating dogs and cats isn't because it's like morally objectively wrong. It's because they're just more useful in other contexts.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
And they're also predator animals who aren't like a part of the fucking processing of like plant matter into flesh matter.
Exactly.
Into food, basically.
Yes. And all the animals we eat, generally speaking, like the common animals we eat, all are multi-use animals, right? Like
except pigs and
no, pigs are also not in modern times, but in historically pigs were incredibly useful because they ate waste.
Yeah.
Which is
I mean, they still eat waste. Too.
They still eat waste, but
like they're not like a multi-use animal the same way like cows and sheep
are. In like pre-industrial times.
Yeah.
Waste management was a big problem, right? Because you don't have an industrial system to manage human waste and stuff like that. So you feed it to the pigs.
They convert waste into basically.
They convert waste into useful proteins.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
And also their meat is really good for curing.
Yeah.
Like compared to beef and chicken, especially chicken and stuff like that, like not so good for curing.
Yeah.
Bacon it keeps forever if you do it in a traditional way. Or salt pork as well. You'll notice that a lot of the ways we generally eat pork are cured pork, right? Like people do eat pork chops and stuff, but way more common is bacon, salt beef, all products that came around because of ham. You know, these are all cured products from pork because pork was useful because every family would have a pig. They'd slaughter the pig at the beginning of winter, cure all of the meat, and then they could eat the meat throughout winter. This is an important fact about animals, right? So you have cows. Sure, you can slaughter them for beef, but that's a really inefficient use of, they take up a lot of resources. Way better, they produce dairy, which is super useful if you live in a pre-industrial or post-industrial, post-collapse, or ecologically friendly, less fucking industrialized place. Dairy is the most useful thing ever. You can turn dairy into butter. You might think butter's not that great. You use it to coat your pan. You could just use olive oil or something, right? Or if you're disgusting subhuman, you could use seed oils. Bleh, bleh, seed oils. Bleh. Disgusting. Stop eating seed oils. But yeah, you might think that, but butter is more useful than that. Not only was it used for all sorts of weird shit like lubrication back then, People even there's even stories in Ireland. They have these conical boats, right, that are made of. They make them with fucking basketry. It's so fucking crazy. I just read an article about this the other day. They have these boats, conical boats, that they make with basket weaving. Then they layer them with, like hide, and then they waterproof it with butter. Weird, but butter has all these crazy uses. Apparently, when the Vikings were conquering places, right, in general, this is one of the reasons longboats were such an effective vehicle for warfare, is because they were very shallow.
Yeah.
And so what they would do, they would carry all this fish with them to eat, and when they wanted to go over land, this is crazy, right?
Yeah.
When they wanted to, like, instead of taking a big route around the land,
Yeah.
they would just go directly over the land if it wasn't hilly. And what they would do, they'd get the fish and butter, and they'd lay it out in front of the boat as a lubricant, like rotten fucking mashed up fish paste and butter to make a lubricant so they could push the boat over land. Isn't that fucking wild?
It is fucking
But
wild.
anyway, butter has but most importantly, butter can be used to preserve foods. You can take fish and bury it in a big mound of butter and it won't go bad, which is really important because refrigeration relies on a whole bunch of infrastructure that relies on fossil fuels. So maybe it's useful to have ways of preserving things that don't require refrigeration. Speaking of that, you can turn milk into fucking kefir and yogurt, which are both good ways of preserving it. But even better, cheese! The wonderful fucking invention that is the best food that humans have come up with. Cheese. You have a cow. You milk your cow. You ferment your cow's milk into cheese. There are cheddars that are aged for 10 years plus. There are parmesans that are aged for 10 years plus. There are cheeses that are aged for 20 years, right? Cheese keeps forever. You keep your cheese in a fucking basement or something, or in a cupboard or whatever. It just sits there for years. You're fine. It just gets better. The longer you leave it there, it just tastes better. So you're like, fuck it, we don't have to eat it right now. And then, oh no, it's winter and we had a bad harvest. There's a vegan over there. They're starving to death. We have cheese. We have enough protein to get through the winter. You don't, because you're a vegan and you're retarded.
And also like fucking chickens.
Chickens lay eggs, which are incredible.
Yeah. Incredibly efficient fucking to convert like seeds and fucking
It's
inedible things
crazy.
into proteins.
It's amazing because there's all of this energy in the earth, but it's all like grasses and seeds and shit that humans can't digest. But animals can digest it, and we can use them as machines to turn it into things we can eat.
Sheep, goats, wool,
Yeah,
consistently.
wool,
And
extremely
also milk.
important. And also milk. That's why sheep are the best animals, because you get three things out of them. You get, for farming, in my opinion. If I was going to be a farmer, sheep and goats. Because not only do you get dairy consistently, and sheep are actually even more... Fun fact, sheep require, because they're smaller, they don't require as much grazing as cows, but they produce almost the same amount of milk, so they're really efficient for in a non-industrial situation. And you can turn it into cheese and do all the things I said about cow's milk. Plus, you make a fucking jumper out of them. And they're fine with it. If you don't shave them, it just keeps growing and they die. You have to shave them.
I mean, to be fair,
They're engineered, yeah. But vegans advocate for the genocide of these animals.
Which we are not necessarily against, right?
We're not against it. We're also not against a massive reduction of human population, which is definitely a vegan thing they like too. I'm okay with that. You're okay with
I'm
that.
okay with that.
We're not against that. We're just saying, think about it.
Also, like, the reason most people become vegan is because they fucking see industrial farming, right, and go like, this is the worst thing to ever happen. And it is the worst thing to ever happen.
It sucks.
It's incredibly inefficient when it comes to land use, because it's no longer just using, like, fucking waste, basically, because fucking cows eat grass, right, pigs eat fucking scraps,
Yeah.
chickens eat fucking seeds and shit, right?
But instead, we grow crops specifically
Yeah.
for the animals, which is such a stupid idea.
Yeah, and but when we're considering, like, an ecologically friendly world, right, we'll still have grasses, we'll still have fucking scraps.
We'll have more.
Yeah, we'll have fucking seeds and shit, right? And we can't really do anything with them
Yeah.
because we're humans and we can't digest them. But given that we want to make the most use out of the land we have, right? Because
Yeah.
we want to be ecologically friendly, we have to kind of rely on these machines or basic animals, right?
Yeah.
who can produce proteins out of these waste products, right?
And just to be clear, we consider humans to be machines as well.
Yeah.
We're not using machine as a derogatory term towards animals. We're machines as well.
You're ready to lose.
Yeah, we're machines that produce desire. Yeah, and sheep are machines that produce delicious milk.
And wool.
And wool and meat. So the fundamental problem with veganism here is that it's sort of a Gaia theory type of thing, right? Where they see humans as these external forces separated from nature because we are self-aware, and then nature as this perfect system that exists without humans and that we interrupt. And so to be a perfect human is to interrupt nature as little as possible, which means not eating animals, right? Because that's a natural thing. It's sort of a appeal to nature type of deal,
Yeah.
right? Whereas in reality, there is no separation between humans and nature. And there's not even a separation between something like buildings and nature. You know, we don't say that ant hills are unnatural, or termite mounds are unnatural, or beaver dams are unnatural, you know, but somehow when humans do it, oh, it's terrible, right? No, it's all part of the same system. And that's our sort of, I would say,
Yeah.
right? That you have to be in the system instead of being like, the system is perfect, we have to touch it as little as possible. We're saying that's not how it works.
Like, if we as humans are going to exist in a fucking post-civilization or post-collapse or whatever fucking situation, we have to, like, veganism isn't sustainable. Veganism is specifically a byproduct of a heavily industrialized society with enough excess that it can afford to not use these products, right?
Yeah.
And
a lot of vegan products, like the Impossible Burger type stuff, is explicitly a process in industrial consequence of industrial society.
And when it comes to like the proteins that vegans eat, like fucking soy and that kind of stuff, they require a ton of land, and they require like a degree of technology that's only possible in a heavily industrialized setting. And ultimately the result is you still end up with heavy and inefficient land use, and you still end up with some amount of waste material that humans can't consume, and they have nothing
a significant amount of waste
a significant amount of waste material.
And that's terrible, right? That's not good. And not only do these does crop farming require a lot of land, although animal farming, this is the vegan argument, and it's true. I can't argue against it because it's just true. Animals require a whole bunch of resources. They require more land per calorie to farm, right? You need big fields for them to graze, right? Whereas you can grow the equivalent amount of calories in crops in a smaller space, and that means more deforestation to raise animals. True. Animals require more water than crops do. True. Right? These things are true. They require more resources. However, once you've got an animal set up, sheep, for example, you milk them once a day. You milk one of them once a day, right? And you sort of revolve. You have to help them with lambing, I suppose. You have to shear them occasionally, and you have to bring them inside for the winter. But other than that, they sort of take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas crops require a whole bunch of energy. You have to plow fields, which is really hard. And
especially in its fucking setting where fucking mass scale technology production is not sustainable.
That's what exactly. Without tractors and stuff like that, you have to use a plow to plow a field.
And how are you going to use a plow without fucking livestock?
That's in the pre-industrial times when they needed to plow something, they got a fucking ox, and the ox pulled the plow, and the human guided the plow. It's too difficult. It's just physically too difficult to plow land without domesticated animals. It's ridiculously difficult, especially without industrial mining to get metals to make metal plows. Wooden plows?
I mean, you can use metal for like.
You can use metal.
Recycle metals very easily.
It's true. Okay, good. True.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, all of this requires a lot of energy, right? It requires a lot of energy, and right now we get that energy from fossil fuels. But in an ecologically friendly or post-civilization or post-oil or something like this, right? Society where we don't have mass access to a massive quantity of energy for really cheap, how are you going to do it without animal labor? You can't. it's not possible to feed enough humans without animal labor. You would have to have, and the worst part is, this is the worst part. You're racist. The worst part is you're racist because we'll be fine. We live in the fertile fucking grounds of Northern Europe where things just grow super easily. You don't have to worry about it, and it's not too hot, so you can keep things forever, right? But the global south, where temperatures are really high, the fucking ground doesn't farm as well. Without industrial technology, without GMOs, without pesticides, without herbicides, without any of this shit, and without animals, they're all going to die. You're racist.
I mean, to be fair, there are like models that work like the Indian model.
But they use animals.
They do use animals, but they don't use animals generated in like a very exploitative way.
That's one. But vegans would be against that still.
Yeah. But
I think that's a good model.
Yeah.
But they use cows and ox to pull plows right? That's what I'm saying. Vegans would be super against that because that's.
I don't know if vegans would be super against
They are. They're against animal slavery.
I know they're against it, but like, I don't know how against it they would be. Like, I don't think they would be like super against it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they would.
Like, there are multiple models where fucking that can challenge our relationship with animals as something that we use for meat, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. Like,
I also agree that's fine.
Like, if in a potential future, right, the only animals we use for meat are animals that are like too old to have like a decent life. That's fine by me, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe in a hypothetical situation that might be ethically questionable, right? Male fucking cows or bulls aren't very useful all of the time, so you kind of have to use them for meat because they're not very fat keeping and stuff, right? Like, that's still
particularly genetically inferior bulls.
Particularly,
that you can't breed very well.
Yeah.
Which is how it was historically.
Yeah.
So
you can make an argument that you have to use that class of animals for meat explicitly.
Yeah. Or they it's bad for the animal if you don't.
Yeah.
I agree. I fully agree. Talk more about the Indian model because I'm curious about this.
I mean, I haven't done like a ton of research on it. I just know that like fucking people in India have mostly a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
And they have
here's one of the reasons why they have mostly a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
Lentils.
Yeah.
They eat a lot of lentils. Vegans eat a lot of lentils. Lentils are good.
Lentils, fucking sweet potatoes, extremely efficient.
Beans as well.
Beans.
I love beans.
Yeah.
They're not so into beans, but I love beans. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what else Indians love? Yogurt.
Yeah.
Deal with that. And lamb as well. They eat a lot of lamb.
I think so.
Which is I like lamb, but you don't if you're a vegan. Tough luck, bitch. Why am I so aggressive?
I fucking know.
Can I have a bit of Dr. Pepper?
You can have this Dr. Pepper.
As a treat?
As a treat. Yeah,
No, still don't like it that much.
Did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
I just want to say, like, we're hypothesizing about a post-industrial or more ecologically friendly, maybe even, and I hate to say this, solar punk type of world.
Solar punk is a shit.
It's so bad. I hate it so much. But because we're hypothesizing about this, because we assume that vegans are sort of deep ecology type people.
They're not necessarily deep ecology.
But like,
people.
okay, I worded that poorly. You're right.
Yeah.
Ecologically minded people.
Yeah.
Because one of the main arguments for veganism is the ecological argument that cows take up more resources, produce methane, etc. The cowspiracy argument. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. Milk. Milk and eggs, but mostly milk. Milk is one of the only foods we eat that is supposed to be food. It is produced by cows to be food for baby cows. So it's got all of these great nutrients in it, which is really useful when you have some food scarcity. Also eggs full of proteins to feed the embryo. These are made to be foods. Also seeds. Why do we eat mostly grains? Because seeds are full of energy that feeds the baby plant. These are all foods that are meant to be foods. And finally, fermentation. Eat fermented things.
Okay, so basically, recap, right?
We didn't even talk about fish.
Fish. Talk about fish.
I'll talk about fish. So meat is really hard to get hold of, right? Because most of the animals we keep are useful for other things, and you can only kill an animal once, whereas you can milk an animal a lot of times, or you can collect eggs a lot of times, you can only get meat out of an animal once, so it's really expensive and difficult to get hold of, right? Hence, the peasant class would have eaten less meat, and the higher, richer class would have eaten way more meat. Hence, meats are called by their French names, like beef comes from bœuf, and etc. Whereas the animals come from their Anglo-Saxon names, like cow and stuff like that, which would have been coup, I believe, in Anglo-Saxon or in.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
But what's the language called? Do you remember?
I don't fucking know.
Whatever, right? But you realize that fish don't have that. We don't have a two-language system for fish because fish are really plentiful. You can get loads of. There's way more fish than there are land animals. There's by a massive margin. Fish is great, and unlike meat, you can ferment fish really well. You can't really ferment pork or beef or any of these things. They go off and they kill you. But you can ferment fish into like garum, for example, that the ancient Romans drank, or modern day fish sauce from Southeast Asia, which is just an amazing source of protein.
And you can salt fish very easily.
And you can, that's part of the making of these sauces. The ancient Romans didn't use salt on their food. They put the salt in the garum, and then they poured the garum on the food, which is kind of genius if you ask me. And it tastes amazing, first of all, but secondly, has all these really things that humans need. Has all the omega-3s that we need. It has all of these proteins that we need. And you can ferment it, and it keeps for like a year without refrigeration. Remember, refrigeration relies on industrial civilization. I'm not anti-refrigeration. Refrigeration has been around since pre-industrial times, but the way that right now we have only refrigeration is bad.
Mass refrigeration is necessarily a product of industrial surplus.
That's a much more elegant way of saying what I was trying to say. Yeah.
So recap, basically, if you're looking for a sustainable future, it can't be vegan.
It can't be.
Yeah. And if you want to be vegan...
one final thing.
Yeah.
Supply and demand is a meme. Just because you stop eating meat doesn't actually mean that the meat industry will stop producing as much meat. There will just be a surplus that goes to the rubbish bin and to the landfill or whatever.
Because the infrastructure is already there.
Because the infrastructure is already there. You can look this up. I don't think we have time to explain the entire economic model of why supply and demand is a bit nonsense. But it's kind of disconnected, right? Like they'll just produce. Capitalism's weird. They'll just produce meat even if no one's eating it.
Yeah, supply chains are fucked.
Supply chains are fucked. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so
start from the beginning. So it's your line is as arbitrary as our line, right? That's the first thing we said because of mollusks and honey, right? What was the second thing?
I don't fucking know.
This might be the worst video I've ever made.
This is a great video. This is an amazing video.
Sorry, I meant best video I've ever made. I misspoke. Fermented fish. Just fucking do it. Just fucking ferment some fish, bro.
Also, you might ask, hey, why are you guys drinking fizzy drinks and vaping so much? And to that I'm gonna say, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Yeah, how are you guys doing? It's been 28 minutes of this. You must be a... Listen, you're a real one. If you got this far, you are a real one. Do we do a recap or just end the video?
Okay, basically, if you want to be vegan, that's okay, but that relies on surplus, which relies on excess production, which is fine in our current situation, but isn't sustainable in the long term.
Yeah, because it relies on industrial capitalism and mass civilization and mass supply chain, global supply chains.
Yeah. And similarly, industrial farming is as unsustainable and incredibly unethical, and the only way that keeping animals makes any fucking sense from an ecological and, if you want to say moral perspective, is in a symbiotic way where you provide for the animals as much as they provide for you, basically.
Which is like ants and aphids or any symbiotic relationship in nature. Read Mutual Aid. What is it? A mutual aid of fucking something of nature. That book. Read that book. That's what farming was It was all mutual. Well, it wasn't all mutual aid. There are. I will not say this is not rose tinted spectacles. Like beasts of burden were treated really, really badly in the past, especially horses. They were really fucked.
Yeah.
The people would just work horses to death. Don't do that. That's bad.
Same with like donkeys and shit.
Yeah, and donkeys and oxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you ever heard about the Chinese wheelbarrow? That's the best That's like the second most efficient form of transport humans have invented. Go look up research about the Chinese wheelbarrow. It's fucking genius, and you'll be like, oh, why the fuck don't we have wheelbarrows like that? That's so much of a better idea than our wheelbarrows. And you can pull those with oxes, but also you can fucking power them with the wind.
And you can make trains.
And you can make trains. It's crazy. It's all fucking wild. China, they got their shit. Fuck, they crazy over there, man. So what are we saying about like an ideal situation, like symbiotic relationship with these animals?
Ideal situation: you live on a farm, you grow some crops, you feed some chickens, pigs, cows, sheep.
I have a very slight disagreement with you here. Ideal situation is nomadic herder.
I like farms more.
Farms are cool, but I just feel like bunch of sheep, bunch of goats, roaming the steppe.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but like
Mongolia style.
It's really fun. I like nomadic lifestyles as like a concept, but if I'm gonna like be honest, it would be way more fucking comfy to be on a farm.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, maybe that's what autism is. Autism are farmer types, but ADHD are hunter-gatherer types. ADHD, if you don't know about this, ADHD is just being the ideal hunter-gatherer. It's not a fucking disorder. It's just being the ideal hunter-gatherer. And if you have ADHD, you're a fucking Chad. Shouts out.
You have ADHD.
Did I stutter? Did I fucking stutter?
Yeah.
Let's go through all the mental health disorders. The first mental health disorder, veganism.
Second mental health disorder, being transgender.
Being transgender. The horrific mental health disorder.
Abhorrent.
Fucking abhorrent. If you think that you can't have transgender people in post-industrial or post-collapse society, I once saw someone synthesize LSD on a fucking boat. I feel like you can manage, you know? If you can do that.
It's actually pretty easy to synthesize like basic estrogens, but you have to use horse piss, which is kind of
That's fine.
That is fine.
People used piss way more in the past.
That's true.
You used to tan things with piss.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like
you know the phrase "he doesn't have a pot to piss in." Do you know the history of that phrase?
Oh yeah.
So really poor people who had no job or no nothing, they would literally sell their piss to tanning factories. They would piss in a pot and sell the piss to tan it for like tiny amounts of money.
Yeah.
And so if you're really poor, you don't even have a pot to piss in, right? That's where the phrase comes from. To someone who's really poor, he doesn't even have a pot to piss in because he's so poor he can't even afford a pot to sell his piss.
Yeah. So yeah, fucking.
Sorry.
I was about to say something.
You were saying about synthesizing estrogen.
Oh yeah, like if you apply our modern knowledge to a post-fucking-industrial, post-civilization context, right? We can still synthesize medicines. We can still synthesize like various types of like. Most things can be synthesized relatively easily without like massive industrial supply chains. There are of course exceptions, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of things do need industrial supply chains, and I think those would be like okay to have around, you know.
Yeah.
Or like
Like there were a lot of processes, for example, that rely on electrolysis, right?
Yeah.
Which would be kind of difficult, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't think that even the internet would disappear in a post-collapse type of world. Like I think we could all be using.
I mean, there's enough scraps to go around for a fucking million years.
Get yourself one of these. Get yourself a fucking Raspberry Pi, right? You're fine. These can run on low power. Install fucking Plan 9 on it. 9front, 9front is the port of Plan 9 things to Linux. Whoops. Install Plan 9 on it or a minimal Linux or BSD distro that takes low power. Have a fucking solar setup and a wind setup made of wood, not fiberglass. Made of fucking hand-carved wood, not fiberglass. Right?
You just do all of your fucking rants here.
Let's just do all of them. Fuck
Okay,
it, bro.
okay,
This is
green
going to be a
energy.
2-hour long video where we just rant about all of our opinions on everything.
Fuck green energy.
Fuck green energy.
Solar panels require so many resources, so much mining, so much material extraction.
However, I am still pro solar panels.
Yeah.
I think it's because I think firstly solar panels are getting pretty damn efficient.
Yeah, but they still require so many fucking resources.
But they're a good they can
and they only last like fucking 10 years or something.
That's because most people put solar panels on their roofs and
Yeah.
in places where they can't maintain them. If you
Yeah.
have a solar panel in a place you can maintain it and fix it, they can last for a long time.
Okay.
Secondly, unlike wind, like small scale wind, solar panels. I think I read. I might fact check me on this one. 'Cause I think I might be wrong. I might name the wrong number, but I think it takes like 5 years of an efficient solar panel to make up all of the energy that it took to produce it.
Yeah.
So they were good. They do take a lot of resources to produce, but they're a good investment.
That's fair.
That's my opinion.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue on.
I don't like. I still don't like fucking love solar panels.
Yeah. It also depends where you live.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
like, if you live
we live in the fucking north.
Yeah.
Basically.
If you live in like Spain or somewhere hot.
Yeah.
Or with loads of sunlight, solar panels are a great investment because they'll easily produce back the power it took to produce them. If you live in the north, it's probably a better idea to go with wind.
Yeah. And fucking wind generators. They can't be recycled. Like you have to replace the plates constantly. You can't fucking recycle the fucking plates, and they're really fucking inefficient to produce.
Yeah. Especially small scale. Why am I doing this as if I'm holding one?
Yeah.
Like the one, if you have like a what are they? What's the actual name for them? Windmill?
I don't fucking know.
Wind turbine.
Wind turbine.
If you have a small scale, like the type of wind turbine that white people like to put on their roof, right, and pretend they're being eco-friendly, they barely produce enough energy to fucking light a light bulb.
Yeah.
They are so shit. They're so inefficient that they will never in their lifetime produce enough energy to overcome the amount of energy it took to produce them. They break all the time, and they're made of fiberglass, which you can't reuse, recycle. It never biodegrades, and it's a terrible material.
Yeah.
The solution to this, which is being done in some places in the Netherlands, is to hand carve the blades of your wind turbine out of wood, right? Which you can make as efficient as they can be as efficient as the fiberglass ones. There is also a way to make a slightly different design of smaller scale windmills or wind turbines that are more efficient than the ones that people actually generally use in cities or whatever. That is slightly more efficient. It's still not as good as large scale, just because of physics. But yeah.
And there are some good fucking
Geothermal. I think
geothermal is great fucking
waves.
waves. Yeah, those are great ways of.
But the problem with waves is that it's very localized. Like if you don't have an infrastructure to transport that energy into the
That's true.
you can. But the problem is it produces too much energy.
That's true.
Like if you have no infrastructure, but you have a wave powered generator, you have so much energy in your tiny coastal town and no way to give it to anyone.
Yeah, I mean you could set up like small amounts of infrastructure.
That's
locally,
true. That's true.
And I don't think that would be like an ecological disaster.
I don't think it would be an ecological disaster.
And
I just think it
especially
would be
because
difficult.
especially because we already have the infrastructure.
That's true. We just have to repair it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah. And like
the UK has one of the best wave power.
Yeah.
We the British, the greatest country on God's green earth, and with my bow of God. Sorry. That's a great song. I love Jerusalem. It's a good song. It makes me it's the only patriotic thing I like.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard it?
I don't think I have.
It's like the pseudo English national anthem.
Yeah.
Like not British but English.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a banger. But anyway. We are like on top of, we're like one of the most wind power in the world and the most wave power in the world.
When I'm at my grandma's,
But it's still like 4% of total energy.
When I'm at my grandma's, there are like huge wind turbines, like absolutely everywhere. Like,
That's
that area.
The problem is most of our wind farms are, what's the word for it? They're in the sea.
Yeah.
So they're hard to maintain.
Yeah.
Like underground cables going to be hard to maintain in post-industrial civilization. Or not civilization.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of interrupted your rant.
I don't think I've had anywhere else to go. Nuclear energy is a good short-term solution.
The ideal situation.
Yeah.
It is possible to maintain civilization in a similar form as it is.
Mm.
You go from fossil fuels to natural gas, and you use natural gas as a transition to nuclear.
Yeah.
Then you use nuclear for like 100 years,
Yeah.
and during that time slowly transition to renewables.
Yeah.
And then you're set.
Yep.
It's possible. Will it happen? No.
It could happen.
It could happen, and that would be kind of bad. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The one of the biggest problems with green energy is that it's very like fossil fuels. You need energy, you burn something, and then you have energy. Nuclear similar.
Yeah.
Renewables, if the weather's bad, you don't have any energy, so you need a way to store energy, surplus
There are
energy.
very efficient ways to store energy.
But there are. But on a small scale, on a large scale, we have amazing like massive. Have you seen the massive flywheels?
So cool.
So sick.
Yeah.
That's so sick. These are great, and also, actually, I'll talk about this now. So, unfortunately, a lot of this relies on lithium-ion batteries right now.
Yep.
Which are
electric vehicles should be fucking banned.
Electric vehicles are the worst idea ever.
Okay, so the cost to extract the fucking materials for an electric vehicle will never be recouped.
Yeah.
There's a limited supply for the materials, for the batteries, and that can't be increased because the way those materials are extracted are incredibly destructive, unethical, and can't be sustained for more than like fucking 10 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trade-off is, right?
Yeah.
Do you want an environmental and ecological and human rights disaster in the Congo in order to save the environment and ecology of the whole world a little bit?
But it won't even save the ecology because you constantly have to replace the batteries, which each will never recoup the cost that you put in. And with conventional cars, you don't even produce CO2 anymore. It's so tightly regulated that basically no cars produce actively carbon dioxide.
They have a catalytic converter at the back, right?
It's not really a catalytic converter. It's the way they fucking burn the fuel. It's in such a way that it doesn't produce CO2. It still produces other gases that can be somewhat harmful, but not incredibly so. So when it comes to cars and engines right now, they're incredibly environmentally friendly.
I still think cars should be abolished.
They should be abolished. Ideally, we just have like fucking forms of public transport that are sustainable.
Yeah, trains, bikes, wheelbarrows.
Yeah.
Horses.
But yeah, like basically, normal cars are environmentally superior to electric cars.
Yeah.
By far. It's not even
I don't know
close.
about by far because...
But you can repair a normal car for like 60 years.
That's true. But the problem is that that normal cars rely on oil extraction.
That is true. But you cannot... biofuels are actually getting like really, really fucking good these days.
But biofuels contribute massively to deforestation.
That is true. But like... when it comes to like managing fucking the climate and whatever, you can very easily use biofuels these days, and they're fucking constantly improving. And I don't know, I'm not sure, but there are like ways of like creating the biomass required for biofuels that are somewhat sustainable.
What's your opinion on hydrogen vehicles?
Kind of a meme right now.
Kind of a meme?
Yeah. They're cool, but they don't really have like, they need a shit ton of infrastructure to work, and that kind of infrastructure is just not like gonna be available ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, so.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it either. I just know that if you want to drive a hydrogen vehicle, you need a shit ton of infrastructure, right? It's the same.
But it's the same for electric vehicles.
It's the same as with electric vehicles, but setting up an
Let's call them EVs, so we sound cool.
Yeah. Setting up the infrastructure for EVs is simple. You just put a fucking plug that you can plug your car in, right?
Yeah.
But EVs are fucking shit anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
But when it comes to hydrogen vehicles, you can basically set up the infrastructure, and they can be perfectly usable. But as it is, they're kind of a fucking meme. Like, you can only use them in very, very limited areas.
I slightly disagree with you that the EVs are like significantly worse than fossil fuel cars. I think they're equally bad.
I think they're way worse.
Because EVs do produce less, like they produce no emissions. The worst part about the EV is the battery, right?
Yeah.
But I think that how do I put it? I just in a lifespan.
Yeah.
It takes more resources to create an EV than it does to create a car, like a regular car.
Yeah.
But something like EVs are basically overall like something percent less
But like,
emissions than
but
regular
like
cars.
EVs still have like a fucking 10-year lifespan.
Yeah.
After which they're
But
fucking dead.
we don't know that lithium polymer batteries won't make that better, like significantly better.
It can make it better, but right now, EVs last for 10 years, basically.
Yeah.
And 10, the biggest and most expensive part of them has to be fucking replaced
Yeah.
in its entirety.
Isn't it really retarded that Teslas have like massive computers in them and massive screens that take up a bunch of electricity
so fucking retarded.
instead of being like, isn't that just gonna reduce the range? Like, don't put a high power fucking AI in your car if your limited resource is electricity and you want to get as much range as possible. Just put it all into the fucking engine.
Yeah.
You don't need computers in your car. Get rid of all the computers in your car. Buy an old car that doesn't have a fucking computer in it.
Oh, I mean, electric vehicles are cool, right?
Yeah.
The technology has a shit ton of potential.
I agree.
But as it is right now, it's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It's a fucking...
Buy a diesel
disaster.
car. Buy a diesel car. Diesel is better than petrol. There's my opinion for today. Diesel is better than petrol.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look something up real quick. Can you go on another rant about something?
What can I go on a rant about?
I want to briefly mention something cool, just because I know about it.
Yeah.
With regards to battery technology, do you know what's surprisingly efficient? One of the ways that they're storing battery from renewables, storing energy from renewables, is compressed air batteries.
Yeah.
But do you know what's surprisingly efficient? Small scale compressed air batteries.
Yeah.
Like they're about like this big.
Yeah.
And there's just a tube with compressed air, and you just carry it around. It's just air, so you can just carry it around, and it stores energy really efficiently.
Hell yeah.
More efficiently than the big ones.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking sick?
That is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Fucking, we need fucking all nautical vehicles that transport cargo to be fucking nuclear. That's my opinion. There's no sustainable way to fuel fucking cargo vehicles with electricity, fossil fuels, or anything. The only way to make fucking cargo vehicles work is if you fucking have like a nuclear reactor as a part of the cargo vehicle or as a form of charging the vehicle in some fucking way.
Yeah. Instead of cargo vehicles, Chinese wheelbarrows. Trains of Chinese wheelbarrows with wind sails. Okay, what do you think about this? This is the suckless car. It's an idea for a suckless car. It has...
Yeah, you've sent me this one.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, it has no air conditioning, no independent suspension, no speedometer, high acceleration, high speed, tight cornering, using a computer as opposed to... It's not going to have a computer. Oh no, it's not going to have any of these things. It's not going to have high acceleration, high speed, or tight cornering. It's not going to have a computer. It's not going to have airbags. It's not going to have ABS or any of these bullshit things. It's going to be fucking sick. It has no safety features. It's going to be like a motorbike. It has no safety features. Because fuck it. You shouldn't be driving anyway. It has a full fucking 5-point harness. It's nuts. Look at it.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's like a dune buggy. With like canvas. It's covered in canvas.
Oh, also, I think I have to explain like where we are coming from, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about all of this shit. It's like an ideal or a goal. It's just a fucking spectrum of human existence.
Yeah.
Insofar as what can be done at different stages of technological decay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when a civilization collapses. Like civilizations have collapsed a lot, right? They keep collapsing. It's one of the things that civilization does. We're in a collapsing civilization right now, I think, unless something happens, which maybe it will. I'm not. These days, I'm slightly more skeptical about collapse.
Yeah.
Like rapid collapse.
Like I think there are enough theoretical solutions at this point that rapid collapse won't happen.
Yeah, and yeah, so I don't know if that will happen, but it is likely that at some point. I mean, it's not likely. It's inevitable that at some point this civilization collapses.
Yeah.
And historically, when civilizations collapse, the most successful I don't even know what to call it. The most successful continuations are the ones that use the resources scavenged. They're scavengers basically. They scavenge resources from the collapsed civilization in order to build their and survive and thrive and trade and all of these important things. For example, back to Chinese wheelbarrows. So, back in the day, a long time ago, we're talking like 2 BC or something. Crazy Chinese empire was dope. They had roads back then.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong about 2 BC. I don't know when it was, but they had roads and it was sick, and they had a big empire. Horolov will know about this. And then it collapsed, and then all the roads were sort of disintegrating, so you couldn't have these big chariots pulled by horses and shit because there was too many potholes. So they invented this really efficient wheelbarrow to transport their goods and people. That because wheelbarrows can go over potholes really well and can go over rough roads, and they only need a road like this big because they have one wheel. And so, as the roads deteriorated, they invented this technology, low-tech technology, not a fucking computer, right? A low-tech technology that took advantage of the collapsing civilization and became a massive trade network and a massive important invention in Chinese history.
And the thing about collapse is the knowledge does not disappear.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I think computing is going to still be a thing post-collapse. I even think the internet is still going to be a thing. It's going to look very, very different. It's going to be mesh networks, like in fucking Cuba, and Brazil, Argentina, somewhere in South America. They have a bunch of mesh networks that are dope. I think it might be Brazil. Like they have a whole piracy network over mesh networks that's all set up by fucking gangs and shit. Yeah. It's so sick.
That sounds very sick.
Yeah, they pirate video, like they just pirate video games, but instead of torrenting them, they just send it to each other over this mesh network. It's so, and all you need is a router. Isn't that the dopest shit ever?
That is very dope.
I don't know what system they use for their mesh network, but probably like Batman or something. Actually, probably not Batman because that's really complicated. There's a social media platform called. Oh my god, I'm digging deep in my fucking knowledge banks right now. Oh fuck, what's it called? It's like Beetlebug or something, Scuttlebug or something. No, not Scuttlebug. That's from Mario 64. I need to look at this.
It's been fucking 51 minutes.
This is just a no thank you video. This is the best. Talk about something. Keep them entertained.
Oh, fuck, I had something to talk about. But I forgot.
I found it. It's called Scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
I was close with Scuttlebug. I think this is it. It's a decentralized social media platform that doesn't exist on the internet. It's for sailors, right? And what you do is you have it on your computer and it's offline. And then when you anchor in port, and then other people that also use Scuttlebutt, they P2P to each other.
It's a fucking trucker communication.
It's kind of like that, but even but like with it's like a micro blogging platform basically. But the blogs exchange, like when you come into contact with someone else who has Scuttlebutt, it's not just you. Like it exchanges the whole network of people you come with and syncs it. Yeah. So you keep updated without the internet. Even if you're at sea for a long time and you don't have the internet, you can go. When you anchor in port and you have someone else you meet someone else who is on this network, it will sync the entire network, which I think is fucking dope.
That's fucking dope.
I think similar platforms are still going to exist post-collapse because that doesn't rely on any infrastructure except for low power machines like. Also,
radio communication, super fucking efficient, super low power.
That's what. Yes. Radios, a software defined radio even. Yeah. Could be useful.
And you can send data over fucking radio waves super fucking easily. Yes. Not large
amounts of
data.
No, you can send large amounts of data. No, Wi-Fi is radio. Yeah.
Wi-Fi is radio waves. It's a complicated radio network. That's true. Not like
and more importantly, it's a high power radio. Yeah. We think that power is going to be a limited resource, right? Because once... I'm saying we, because we're the same person. I consider us to be the same person. Don't Smite has different ideas. It doesn't matter. They don't get a choice in it. We've become an abomination. We merged and became an abomination like the Fly.
Yeah, do you want to come in? What if we kissed in the Fly machine?
That would be sick. Things like that, right? So energy... It's like a gold rush, right? Like when there was the California gold rush, everyone moved to California. They knew that there wasn't gold forever, but they didn't know when it was going to run out. So they all moved to California, and that the East Coast, never eat the West Coast of America, because that's where all the gold was. Set up all these mining towns, mined for gold. The gold ran out. Now that place is full of ghost towns because basically you had a minor civilizational collapse because the civilization was reliant on a limited resource.
Yeah.
Everyone
the same goes for like the free range too, because that wasn't like a civilization. Like when it comes to the American free range.
What's the free range?
Or fucking open range or whatever it was called. Basically, the entire culture of keeping cows in like large.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah. Like that wasn't the civilizational collapse that was caused by natural factors, but rather all the land ran out because it was occupied by people who weren't a part of the free range and wanted their like closed range fucking ranchers. It was the like cowboy ranch or whatever situation. Yeah. If you watch Western movies, that happens that's like a big famous shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's similar. Is it like almost a tragedy of the commons type situation?
Yeah. It's kind of like that, like, and that was a minor civilizational collapse.
Yeah.
Because like the Lost Cowboy is a fucking massive fucking theme and so on and so on.
Oh, one of the most interesting things. I forget what book I read this in, but basically when the first conquistadors came to America, everyone got smallpox, and there used to be cities in America of Native Americans, right? Cities, road networks. Massive farms of fucking maize and all of these crops.
And they just got the fucking plague.
They just got the plague and they got killed, right? And there was a civilizational collapse. And just for bad luck, there were like a series of droughts and bad harvests. And so civilization collapsed in America, in North America and South America. But South America came a bit before this. Yeah. But in North America, and so because there was no farming and stuff, the Native Americans reverted to a hunter-gatherer lifestyle because that was the only thing they could do. They couldn't farm anymore. There was no civilization. And
that caused a massive surplus of like every single resource.
Because now there was way fewer people. The settlers came. What's the colonizers? That's the word. Yeah. The colonizers came and they saw hunter-gatherers. They saw the Native Americans as hunter-gatherers, and they were like, oh, this is a low society of hunter-gatherers, they're fucking savages or whatever, because they didn't know they'd already accidentally destroyed their civilization. Yeah. But more importantly, there was this massive surplus of natural resources.
The thing with colonizers is that they absolutely know that there was a massive civilization, because a similar thing happened in Africa, where there were like massive fucking cities, massive civilizations.
Yeah, like in Ethiopia and stuff.
Yeah. And when the colonizers came, they basically just destroyed the entire area and just denied that there was a fucking massive civilization because they needed that excuse to be able to like enslave and colonize these people.
Colonization is bad.
Yeah.
Imperialism? Not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad. Read Lenin. What's the book? Imperialism, the final stage of capitalism or something?
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Read Mao Zedong.
Yeah, look, we have a poster of Mao on the wall. I'm gonna get the Mao poster down so you can see it.
What does he do in fucking say?
Yeah, anyone who can read this, I don't know what language it is, because it's like stylized. I think it almost looks like Thai or something.
Yeah.
Almost looks like, what is that? What is this? What language is this? If anyone can translate this or tell me what language it is or anything, please contact me. Please comment. No one's watching 58 minutes into this video to see a Mao poster. But yeah, if you know anything about this, please comment, because this is
also dope. Disclaimer, we're not Maoists.
We're not Maoists. This is a joke.
It's like C6 story poster. Yeah.
We're not Maoists. I just thought, damn, that poster goes hard, bro. What were we just talking about before Mao? Imperialism bad.
Yeah.
So the civilization collapsed in the Americas, which meant suddenly there was a massive population decline. This population of humans was massively farming fish, birds, and bison.
Yeah.
Right, and suddenly they're gone. The Native Americans were so good at killing bison that there was almost a bison extinction before there was a bison extinction.
Yeah. And fucking...
So the populations boomed.
Do you know about the actual bison extinction?
I know, yeah. It's fucked.
It's
so
one
of the most fucked things ever to happen.
They just killed all the bison so the natives couldn't fucking have food.
It's so bad. But thankfully bison is becoming more popular again in America, which is really good.
Yeah.
But I hate imperialism. It's so bad. but anyway. So
do you know about fucking the Native American Relations Agency, or whatever it's called? the department. Basically, until relatively recently, when all the Native American reservations were basically controlled, owned, and managed by this one branch of the government, right? So even though they were like legally separate entities, they couldn't really do anything because they were managed by this fucking branch of the U.S. government, right? And recently they've gotten like more and more rights when it comes to like how they manage their lands.
There was wasn't it the biggest reservation basically declared independence recently? They were like we never signed this particular contract. They had like some legal document from back in the day, and they were like, we never signed this particular contract, so technically we're not part of America. And then it went to the Supreme Court, and it was voted in favor of the Native Americans. I don't know what consequence that
That's
has,
fucking sick.
but it's fucking sick. Yeah. I think that's what happened.
Also, can I say something controversial?
Please say something controversial.
Land back is retarded.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so it's basically a movement that's like saying that the American ecology should be managed by the remaining Native Americans, right? And the idea is that you give the land back to the natives, basically, which is why it's called land back, right?
Yeah.
And as an idea, it's cool, right? Though these natives get to manage the land, right, in like their ecologically friendly ways, and so on and so on and so on.
They don't have that ecologically friendly.
Yeah, but ultimately, right, the thing is that just fucking creating this demographical fucking system just doesn't really create a situation where things can be managed in the long term, right? Because if you give one group of people nominal power, even if they don't use it in an imperialist colonizer way, right?
Yeah.
It still creates a situation that isn't fucking great for anyone.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Especially because a lot of the modern people who claim to be Native American, like 1% Native American, and they're basically just white.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, a lot of people who are pro-land...
Which is not a bad thing. We're not ethno-nationalists.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Native American system, the whole system is a weird ethno-nationalist state, ethno-state type of system, right? Because you're not allowed in the reservation.
You can marry into it and stuff.
But that's...
And if you grow up in a reservation, even if you don't have Native American heritage, you're a part of it, right? So it's not really like an ethno-state.
It's not full ethno-state, but it's more ethno-state than I'm comfortable with.
I think it's kind of fun. Like,
how fascist should I be?
I don't fucking...
Every country should be like that.
Like the specific thing with the Native Americans, right, is that they have a small culture that they have to preserve.
Can I say something controversial?
Sure.
This is maybe too controversial for the video. Wait, I'm going to pause the video, run it past Don't Smite, and see if I'm going to get cancelled for saying this. Okay, the thing I was going to say is apparently
I'm
racist and wrong.
I'm just going to summarize the whole conversation.
It seems like Prince Andrew has just been disowned by the royal family. He's no longer a prince. I just found out from Tano.
Anyway, okay, so basically, you can't compare and quantify the treatment of exploited classes because exploiting any group, whether it's a minority or just the exploited group in an economic system, right, is always very unstable and constantly fluctuates, right? So you can't really say that one class is specifically exploited because historically, right, there's so much variation in the forms that like indigenous minorities and poor people have been treated, basically.
Yeah, that's a good summary. My point was, slavery was bad, but if you look at it, most people who work for a wage have a similar life to a lot of slaves, and maybe wage bad, slavery bad, work bad, anti-work, quit your job, stop working, don't have children. We should talk about the vegan antinatalism.
Oh, yeah.
So, everything that veganism does, antinatalism does better. One of the things that a common vegan argument, right, is people will say as a sort of gotcha against vegans, they'll say, plants have feelings too, so I won't eat any plants because they have feelings as well, right? Which is kind of true, right? Plants are smart. The brains aren't as important as you think. Like, for example, one of my favorite examples of plant intelligence, if a tree in a forest is getting attacked by caterpillars, it will release a specific pheromone that signals to all the other trees, there are caterpillars in this area that might attack you. All the other trees smell the pheromone, and then they start producing their own pheromone, which is specifically a natural pesticide that they produce to ward off the caterpillars so they won't eat them. So trees communicate with each other.
Like all plant work... Anyway.
Yeah, clinked.
Klinked. All plant networks are intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's clearly the trees are aware of their environment, aware that they're being attacked by caterpillars, and aware that it's bad, aware that which means they're aware of themselves and their life and death.
Yeah, it's just that the intelligence of plant life is decentralized.
Yeah. And incredibly connected with mycelial networks. Roots of plants in forests have mycelial tendrils wrapped around them. They all produce pheromones and interconnect.
Yeah.
They all communicate through these mycelial networks. It's fucking nuts. So that's not a bad point to say plants have feelings. Yeah. When you cut a plant, it releases a pheromone that says, I'm being attacked. This is scary.
Yeah.
That is a scream. That's what a scream is for a human. It's the same signal. But just we use audio, they use pheromones, which we can't detect.
So if you want to have an ethical lifestyle, you just eat fruit, basically.
Yeah.
Berries and stuff like that.
And honey.
And honey.
And maybe milk.
And maybe milk.
And maybe not eggs.
Like imagine if your diet was just like fruit, mollusks, fucking cheese, honey. That's
pretty close to my diet. But that's the point, that's the gotcha, right? But then the vegan comeback is, well, if you want to eat harm as few plants as possible, we have to produce a massive surplus of grains and plants to feed all the animals. Yeah. So it's still more ethical to not eat meat.
But we don't have to, and historically we didn't.
That's one point. Yeah. Like for example, all of these sheep graze on grasslands which are just naturally occurring, and we can't use them for anything else unless we tear them up and plant crops there. And pigs eat human waste, which again we can't do anything with. But whatever. The point being, animals eat a massive amount of grains and plants. So even if you're against plant harming, it's still the best option to not eat animals. And then I say, okay, so your point is that even that if you want to reduce the harm to the environment, you want to basically reduce your impact on the world as much as possible. Yeah. Kill yourself. Because then you'll have no impact on the world, right? How far are you willing to take your own human suffering, right? I won't eat meat. I won't eat even honey. Nothing to do with this, all because I want to have as little impact on the world as possible. I'll cycle to work and all of this. Just kill yourself. That will be the best option. How far do you go, right? How far are you willing to go? And then the better option is, if you're a vegan and you have kids, I already won. We're already better than you, morally.
So here's the only ethical way to live. Just fucking dating fertile transgender people.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
It's the only way. Unless when they invent wombs for transgender women, breed as many white children as possible to out. You have to breed as many white children as possible. Blue eyes, blonde hair. This is a joke. That was a joke.
This person is a Jew. I think the name of this video should just be like Klinked Deep Ecology.
Klinked Deep Ecology, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. And no one will fucking know what that means.
No one will know. Only we will know.
Yeah.
It's an hour long of us just screaming about fucking nonsense. If you actually watch this far, okay, we should do it. I do this sometimes. If you actually watch this far, make a comment with the fucking emoji that has the brain exploding. Let me see if I can find it. This one. This fucking emoji with the brain exploding, you could just put it at the end of your comment, or just comment, just somehow put that in a comment, no matter how you want to do it, right? And then we'll know, and then we'll invite you to the secret club. We'll invite you to a secret club if you do that. Maybe.
Depends on the person.
Depends on the person. If you're a cunt, we won't do it.
You will have a chance to be invited to the secret club.
You have. It's like Mr. Beast. If you do this, you'll be entering a chance to win $1,000.
Actually, how would that even happen?
How would what even happen?
Them being invited to the secret club. Should I just say the secret club here?
But what? I don't know what you think. What's the secret club in your mind? Let me pause it. We've thought about practicality here. if you've gotten this far in the video, put the emoji and also a way to contact you. It could be an email address, a Discord, whatever. We'll find a way, and we'll invite you to the secret club. Maybe if you're not a cunt. If we decide you're not a cunt. The problem is the only people that would watch this far are already in the secret club.
I mean, there might be someone new.
There might be, and that would be sick.
Yeah.
You're insane if you watch this far, and we need insane people on our team. It was like fucking, what's his name? Capitalist realism guy, Mark Fisher.
Yeah.
He was like, stop treating mental health problems as like a thing to be cured, and start thinking of them as a thorn in capitalism's side. And I want to be a thorn in capitalism's side.
Was I've gotten powerful enough to use nose vape?
Yeah, my vape is extremely strong.
Yeah, this will kill a man.
My potions are too powerful for you, Trevor. Here's my vape juice.
Have you heard the fucking weed wizard thing?
The what?
Weed wizard.
I don't know what that is.
I have to fucking play a weed wizard.
We'll do it after we finish recording this.
Do you even have
video.
anything else to say?
We always have something else to say.
That's true. We can go for like fucking 3 hours.
I want to go for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think this might be the best video I've ever made.
Why if we just completely change the subject?
I like to talk. I want to talk about technology a little bit.
Okay.
So, people think of technology, generally speaking, as linear progression, linear consequential progression, right? So, like, for example.
Oh, can I go a fucking small friend here?
Oh, please be my guest.
Okay, there's this fucking.
Oh, one second. You too can own a no thank you T-shirt. Go on nothankyou.neocities.org. That's it, right? Is it .org? Yeah, go on nothankyou.neocities.org and you'll find a link to my merch. You too can own one of these amazing T-shirts. Look how cool it looks.
It's kind of faded, but it has.
Yeah, but that looks even better,
yeah.
right? And this is official Yume Nikki merch because I'm dripped the fuck out.
Okay, so here's my rant.
Please.
There's this common thing that people go like, oh, ancient China could have industrialized. Ancient fucking Rome could have industrialized. And it's such fucking annoying bullshit because that was not possible. Because the thing about industrialization, right, is it relies on fucking thousands of years of material science, right? And the thing with material science is it's necessarily incremental, right? If you go from, I don't remember who talked about this, maybe it was Lindy Page or something, I don't fucking know.
Okay.
But if you go from like bronze to fucking iron, right?
Yeah.
Iron isn't gonna be better. It's not gonna be better for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And bronze...
It's even agriculture.
Yeah.
Agriculture was shit at the start. It took
yeah.
thousands of years for agriculture to actually be viable, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, iron was shit for such a fucking long time. And it took the material science because there was no need to switch to iron if you had bronze. But like once...
Because iron was worse than bronze.
Yeah, but when...
They weren't stupid. They were smart.
Yeah.
They're like, why would you use the worst material?
Yeah, but the thing is, the iron was available in such a surplus that eventually the technology shifted to iron, and then iron became refined enough to be actually useful, right? And this process continued for thousands of years, with materials constantly evolving to adapt to new needs, right? And over time surpassing previous materials, right? And it was not possible at the stage of material fucking science during the Roman era or during ancient China to actually industrialize. Industrialization relied on very specific steel processing techniques. It wasn't the steam engine that caused industrialization. It wasn't fucking mass production. It wasn't factories. None of that caused industrialization.
It was steel.
It was steel.
Yeah.
The development of steel that could be actually useful at high capacities, at high loads, and that could be manufactured very precisely. And that created the Industrial Revolution. Nothing else.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I just wanted to show you, where is it? This is an argument to we should just have fires again. It's fucking, this website is the best website ever.
Fireplaces are so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I like having a fireplace.
Just use a fucking horn, don't use a hearing device.
Yeah.
This is so sick, right? But there's this fucking, one of them is about, ancient, or not ancient, but pre-industrial smokestacks. Yeah, medieval smokestacks. They used a lot of fossil fuels in medieval times. It's really interesting. I highly recommend reading this. It's just interesting. But basically, industrialization, it's like a lot of these things, right? It's this is a very Enlightenment modernist way of looking at the world as like these stages of medieval, industrial, digital, right? But really,
Yeah.
all of these stages were melted into each other.
Yeah,
Like
the thing with fucking computing, right? It was invented way before
yeah,
computers were invented.
way before computers
Yeah.
were invented.
But we just did
Hundreds
not
of
have,
years.
yeah, we just didn't have the technology and materials to create computers,
Yeah.
but they existed theoretically, right?
Yeah.
The same goes for basically every single fucking piece of technology. It just relies on materials that have not been refined enough to be able to use it.
Yeah. Before we had coal as like in the industrial era, right? People used shitloads of peat from peat bogs. There was a massive supply chain, like international supply chain of peat because it burned really well and it was mined out of the ground, similarly to coal. It was like a small scale version of industrialization because you needed this high power or high heat fuel that was fairly cheap and easy to access because peat is just in bogs. I mean, it was a shit job to get it, but you know, it was possible. And that was like a pre-industrial global supply chain. Also, garum in the Roman Empire was a massive, literally everywhere in the Roman Empire from fucking, how big was the Roman Empire? From
fucking huge.
It was massive, had access to garum. But garum was only produced in coastal areas, mostly in Spain. They had factories basically that would produce garum because all of the empire needed it. And they would distribute it across the empire because it's fermented so it doesn't go off. And it was crazy in pre-industrial times. On boats and horses. And isn't that wild? Like, that's an international supply chain in the fucking Roman era.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Those are the fucking Silk Road.
The Silk Road?
Yeah.
The fucking Silk Road? I haven't done enough research on it. I just know it's sick.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I've done some research on it and like fucking, you know, the YouTube channel that like fucking translates and reads like ancient documents. And stuff. Yeah. I've watched some of those videos basically.
That's sick. I love that channel.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called.
I don't remember either.
But yeah, a lot of basically the big problem, the big shift in from pre-industrial to post-industrial is that there are two types of energy that are useful. You have thermal energy and kinetic energy.
Yeah.
So we had ways to burn things really efficiently and really good things to burn, like coal, charcoal. Charcoal was a massive industry, or pre-industry, I don't know what to call it. Wood, of course, and peat, right? And these were really useful for like forging and making bricks and stuff like that, right? But we didn't have a technology yet to turn thermal energy into kinetic energy. So we had to rely on human power, wind power, and mostly beasts of burden for kinetic energy. The big shift in the Industrial Revolution was that we invented a number of ways to turn thermal energy into kinetic energy through steam power, basically.
Yeah.
And that was only possible because of steel.
Yeah.
There you go. What was I originally going to talk about?
Rhizomatic.
Oh yeah, so this all links together, right? So technology isn't like obvious steps from one thing to another. Like, it's not like, oh, we invented computing at this point and then naturally iPhones happen. Like,
you know what I fucking hate? The idea that like someone invented something, like,
Yeah.
oh, so fucking this guy invented the computer. No, he fucking didn't.
Yeah.
He just put
That's
pieces
all,
together.
That's all like great man theory.
Yeah, everyone just like
And this is why I'm anti-intellectual property, because the IP, patents, and copyright stops this from happening.
Like all of like fucking IP fags go like, hey, but this guy invented this fucking thing in the Industrial Revolution, and that wouldn't have happened if England hadn't shifted patent laws to be like more fucking limiting in regards to like fucking who can patent what and so on and so on and so on and so on, and patents would be more inclusive, right, and more profitable. And they go like, oh yeah, that created the Industrial Revolution, but that's not true.
Bullshit.
There's a reason why inventions generally happen simultaneously, because when you have the pieces that can be put together, fuck tons of people will put those pieces together before, right?
Yeah, and even there's a lot of times when it's like, I'm sure you know this, the steam engine was invented in ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
there was a shit ton of technology in ancient times. It just couldn't rely on electricity. It had to rely on other forces.
Yeah. So it's all rhizomatic. It's not you invent Ada Lovelace naturally progresses to iPhones, I'll say a thing that I've already said in 2 videos that didn't get released. So the hardware industry works really hard to produce this make fucking microprocessors and transistors the size of fucking single atoms and shit. It's wild, right? They're doing incredible work to make fucking hardware incredibly efficient and powerful and all of these things. And the software industry is doing an amazing job of making sure that there is no improvements in fucking performance. That all of these hardware improvements result in 0 performance improvements for the user or the programmer or anything, because the software industry's fucked. Take for example.
You know, fucking the meme of like Google Chrome takes up all the fucking RAM.
Yeah.
That's because it's programmed to take up all the available RAM. Because that's how it fucking works.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Like Windows computers just always using 40% of your RAM.
Yeah.
No matter what. Why?
Just because it's available. I mean, the thing is that when the RAM isn't available, they reduce their RAM usage, right? But the thing is, you don't. It's fucking stupid.
It's incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
It's mind-bogglingly stupid.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm thinking about this recently is I watched a analysis of the video game Balan Wonderland.
That was a good video.
It was a good video by Shaymay, if you want to check it out.
I only saw like 10 minutes of it.
Yeah. But it's a good video. But nothing related to what he actually said in the video. I was just looking at the game Balan Wonderland and I was like, aside from the graphical fidelity, everything in this game could have been done. Like it's about the same level of like with a GameCube basically. It's like Mario Sunshine. Like nothing in this game could not have been done in the era of Mario Sunshine except for the graphical fidelity because there wasn't enough storage space and stuff like that, right?
Hey, you know what game is good?
What game is good?
Old School RuneScape.
Old School RuneScape is good. I have like 2,500 hours in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's basically the same game as CS 1.6. Like, there's minor changes, the graphics look different, but the fundamental gameplay is the same as 1.6, which can run on this, right? My favorite game of all time, Mario 64, which runs on a fucking N64, which is nothing. There were incredible games on the SNES. The guys over 100 Rabbits, or the non-gendered... How do I say guys in an ungendered...
Guys is not gendered.
Okay, guys is ungendered.
It depends on context, but generally it's not gendered.
The folk.
Folks with an X.
The folks with an X over 100 Rabbits made a video game for the iPhone, I think, for iOS, or maybe it was for PC. I think it was for iOS. It was like a virtual card game, basically. And then they realized, we can just port this to the fucking NES. And they did it, and it's the same game, but on the NES. Programmed in assembly.
Yeah.
Everything should be programmed in assembly.
Like the fucking thing with games. You don't need fucking graphics. Fuck graphics.
Yes, fuck. And this is the thing. At a certain point in like 2013, 2014, everyone was obsessed with graphical fidelity, right?
Yeah.
Call of
The
Duty
thing is, even new indie games that are like fucking low graphics and shit, they still take shit tons of fucking GPUs, shit tons of CPU for
like,
no fucking reason.
Like you play a game like
They're just making a fucking giant engine that does a million things that it doesn't fucking need.
You play a game that is supposed to be emulating the graphics of older games, and it runs like shit, even though the game that's emulating run perfectly because it's badly programmed. No, it's not badly programmed.
It just uses tools.
It uses tools with too many layers.
Yeah.
It's not close to the bare metal.
Yeah.
It's very abstracted.
It just goes through so many layers that fucking performance just doesn't fucking work anymore.
Yeah.
Like fucking the new Binding of Isaac, the one that has been updated for like the last 10 years, right? It runs like shit on bad hardware, even though it doesn't really have any graphical requirements.
Yeah.
Just because it uses so many different fucking layers of like fucking engines and shit.
And you might think this is just a minor complaint. Like you might just think like, oh, just buy a fucking computer, stupid idiot. Like you can't use the ThinkPad to play a modern game. Tough luck. But e-waste is a massive problem. There is no way to deal with it, and there's a shit ton of it because you have to upgrade your technology to operate in the world. So this is a big problem.
And everything gets obsoleted.
So true, right? So this is not how technology should be working. We should be, like, there should be, well there is, but like all of these rhizomatic branches, we've chosen the one or capitalism has ended us up
Yeah.
on the one that requires obsolescence,
Yeah.
regular obsolescence, right? Whereas there could be a equally technological progressive, right, not regressive, like Anthems or Ecofash or whatever, but technological progressive route that is towards better hardware and better software that runs on lower end hardware really well.
Yeah.
There are games like that. Like there's a game called Freeways, which is has one major problem that it doesn't have an undo button. It's a game where you draw highways with a mouse and it doesn't have an undo button. So if you fuck up, you have to. It only has a clear button, so you have to clear the whole thing and draw it again, which is a big fuck, which is a terrible design decision. But other than that, the game's good, and it's 50 megabytes. It's tiny, and it's a whole full game. It's on Steam. You can buy it for like £2. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how games should be. They should be tiny. They should run on anything. They used to be like that. They didn't run on anything, but like now we have emulators that are really good.
Like people had to deal with like performance limitations inherently.
Yeah.
And they still fucking should.
They still should. We should be as Unity is amazing in the way that it's so easy to use and it's allowed for a bunch of game designers to create this amazing artworks that wouldn't have been created otherwise.
And it also fucking is really simple for ports and shit.
Yeah, yeah. You just press export and then you just choose which platform and it just works. But it directly contributes to the ecological problem of e-waste and when there is less energy available for cheap, none of these games are going to be playable.
Yep.
No matter how well archived they are, no one's going to have access to the energy or hardware to play these things because as hardware progresses to get more complex, there's more places where it can fail.
Mm-hmm.
Like a fucking ZX Spectrum is still going to work in 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
This Mac is not. My phone is not.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm fucking tired.
You're fucking tired? We have been ranting for like an hour and a half.
I mean, you've been ranting mostly.
That's true. I'd like to do that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I did feel like I was interrupting you and stuff, but I was like...
It's literally not a problem.
It's not a problem?
It's not a problem.
Okay. I just want to make sure you don't feel like I'm mansplaining or anything.
Yeah, you're mansplaining.
I do that. I tend to mansplain.
Do you?
I just hate women.
Yeah.
What's that?
Women are so fucking horrible.
They're so horrible.
Women are an abomination. Have you heard about women?
Should I do my bit?
Do your bit.
Okay, I'm gonna do this. No one's watching this, so I can do my bit.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my comedy. This is my comedy routine. Hey guys. Hey. Hello everyone. How you doing tonight?
Ooh.
Hey guys. So, you guys ever heard about women? You heard of them? You heard of women? It's crazy, right? You know what women love? You know what they love to do? You know what their favorite activity is? It's just they love to do it. They can't get enough of it. They have kids with a man, right? They get inseminated and pregnant for 9 months, and then they push a baby out of their vagina. Multiple kids. They let them grow up a bit, but then after they give birth, they love doing this. I'm telling you, it's like their favorite thing ever. They take them in the bath and they drown them in the bathtub and throw the bodies in the dumpster. And then they say they have postnatal depression and that's why they did it and they get away with it. They just love doing it. Look it up. It happens all the time. It happens all... Look it up. Look it up. It happens all the time. Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay.
I've heard this bit like 6 times.
Yeah, and it's still funny, right?
Yeah.
It's the best bit ever. You ever heard of black people?
You can't do that.
I can't do that one? Okay. These are only jokes. The point of this is that I'm RPing as a certain type of person that it doesn't represent my true views on reality.
Hey guys, have you heard of the Uyghurs?
Have you heard of the Uyghurs in China? China gave them free education, free housing. Sure, they're camps. Sure, they didn't have a choice. But it's free housing.
And there's no genocide happening, but kinda I wish it was.
Yeah, the genocide isn't real, but it should be.
Yeah.
Wow, once you're an hour and a half in a video, you can just say whatever you want.
Yeah, you can.
I could just show like my credit card to the camera, and no one would ever know. No one would click it. Like,
Yeah.
no, yeah, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
There was a TikTok person who was like, I don't believe that you can do anything with my social security number, and she just gave out her social security number, and it was right. She was right. You can't actually steal someone's identity with just a social security number in America. Like, there's too many things. Someone tried to fraud her bank, and she just got an email from the bank saying someone tried to fraud you,
Yeah.
and it didn't work. I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
I don't want to end the video. It's too fun.
Yeah.
This is Dote Smite. Go put on the maid outfit.
I'm gonna put on the maid outfit.
We have a maid outfit. I'll insert some pictures. I'm not gonna do it. It's a joke. Okay. If we keep talking about industrial civilization, or should we just end the video?
Is there more to talk about?
I could talk about computing in a post-industrial civilization a bit. Maybe. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Low power computing is cool.
Mesh networks are cool.
Mesh networks are cool.
Radio is cool.
Radio is very cool. Software-defined radio is also really cool. ThinkPads are cool. Learn Forth or another stack-based language. Wait, I'm gonna give a little brief dick sucking on 100 Rabbits. So 100 Rabbits is like a collective of people that live on a boat, and they think about, because they live in a boat, they have limited power, so they sort of think about this stuff, right? They have this thing called UXN, and I'll explain what it is. So you ever heard of Electron? Electron is a compatibility layer, basically, right? So if you use the Discord desktop app, or Element for Matrix, or a whole bunch of Slack also is Electron based, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of these like desktop apps, they're based on Electron, which is a compatibility layer. Basically, it is just a really minimal browser that only directs to one website. So when you use Discord, you know how you can open Discord like in a browser? It's the same when you use Discord on your desktop, you're just using a browser that only goes to discord.gg or whatever. And it's like slightly optimized for this particular website. The problem is it's extremely bloated because it's a compatibility layer instead of this. It's useful for cross-platform, right? It's incredibly useful for cross-platform because it's just a browser. Web browsers run on anything. Electron runs on all systems, so that way you don't have to make a different version of your program for Windows, Mac, Linux, etc. Right? You just have one version of your program that runs on Electron, and Electron has different versions from Windows, Mac, Linux, and you don't have to program 3 different versions of your software. It's useful. However, Electron's really bloated and slow and not really good for using even as a programmer. People don't like it, right? So the 100 Rabbits guys came up with an idea for basically a really minimal equivalent called UXN. It's an emulator, just like Electron emulates a browser. UXM emulates a low power system, basically a low level system. You code it with a stack-based language called UXN Tau. It's very similar to Forth, and that way you make your program for in UXN, and then if you have any computer that has UXN can load the ROM because it's an emulator and run the program. So even a program by 100 Rabbits, that was programmed on their Raspberry Pi running Plan 9, which they have, which is extremely cool and swagged out. I can just use it on my ThinkPad they don't have to worry about making a bunch of different versions for compatibility. They make one version for UXN, and if you have UXN on your computer, it just works. And UXN is extremely minimal. It's tiny. UXN Tal is a really easy language to learn if you want to learn it. And yeah, it's almost like having a fourth machine, like a fourth emulator on your computer for little minimal programs. It's really good. And I just think that's a really good idea, and I think it's really cool. Okay, should we end the video now?
I'm just checking things to see if I have something to say.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm just looking at transcript posts, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of out.
I think we might be kind of.
Ferment your foods. Think about refrigeration and how.
Think about the consequences of your consumption.
Think about the consequences of your consumption. Think about how consumption and production have become so disconnected.
Yeah.
In this.
And we're fucking gremlins.
And we're You should see the state of the room we are in right now. Oh my god, you should see the state of the room we are in right now.
We are not perfect consumers. We are not the beacons of morality.
There is no such thing as the beacons of morality.
Yeah, but we at least think about this shit.
Yeah. Because, well, the reason I think about it is I'm just a prepper.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm a prepper. I want if civilization does collapse, I want to have as much knowledge as possible. There's a concept. Oh, I can talk about this. There's a concept called de-skilling, right? If you go back a few generations in your family, maybe even just to your grandparents or maybe to your great-great-grandparents, but just a few generations, they would have known how to like ferment things at home and how to cure things at home before refrigeration was super widespread.
My grandparents like constantly fucking do this.
They probably pickle things, right, all the time.
And if I go to my grandma, who I don't talk to the other one, and she has like this cellar that's cold all year round, basically, because it's a cellar underground, right? And she just keeps fucking vegetables there.
Which is just smart, right?
Yeah, it doesn't require any power. It's just underground. It's just like a stone thing. There's vegetables there.
And if you go back a couple more generations, they would have all had the knowledge of which plants were edible.
I mean, we still do have.
We still do have that, but it's
like that's taught in school for us.
That's sick.
Yeah, because we could, like it's normal to go to the forest and get some. Yeah. Like it's normal to go to the forest and get some mushrooms or berries or whatever.
That's so
like
sick.
That's just something that happens all the fucking time.
Wow. I mean, I've picked berries in the forest. Like that's not too rare. I think a lot of people know which berries are good to eat and stuff. But when it comes to like chanterelles and stuff like that. Oh, that's sick. I mean, chanterelles are a safe bet because they're really easy to identify.
Yeah.
But mushrooms aren't that good. They don't have much calories in them. So
they don't have much calories.
They're tasty.
Yeah.
But if you really want to survive in the forest, you need tubers.
That's true, but you can't really get tubers in the wild that easily.
You can. They're actually really common, but they're in the roots of the plant.
Yeah. But like it's not
here, I don't know about Estonia, but here, like wild garlic grows all the time. That's technically a tuber, and pig nut.
I mean, like a lot of wild berries and stuff grow like all over the place. Like we don't try to like fucking identify tubers and stuff.
I see. Yeah. The point I'm making is,
everyone
would have had much better knowledge of this than we do. I mean, you have a better knowledge than I do because you grew up in a third world country.
Yeah, like you just have to fucking grow up somewhere with this technological like advanced.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a Estonia is a pre-industrial country.
Like we still have the pre-industrial knowledge.
Yeah.
Because
there was a minor civilizational collapse, basically.
I mean, basically we only industrialized under the Soviets.
Yeah.
Because of the Soviet programs, right?
Yeah.
And that didn't affect all of the population as severely as in other places because we just had like communal farms and stuff like that. We didn't really have like the huge industrial production that you would find in like other Soviet countries. And that generally wasn't the thing.
Yeah.
So we just mostly like moved to a communist form of like farming and stuff with industrialization added on top of that, of course. Yeah. And that means that all of the knowledge was retained and is still passed on.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I don't have any of that shit because I grew up in London where there ain't no vegetables nowhere.
Yeah.
And that is de-skilling.
Oh, also, I heard the thing about London that's pretty cool.
Oh, you should go check it out.
If you wanna fucking, I'm just gonna give you my Discord and my Matrix. Okay. Actually, I don't want to give my Discord because it has my name.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
Anyway, so if you want to read a cool thing I wrote, message me on Element on totes@matrix.org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to change from Matrix. I want to self-host a Matrix thing on my Raspberry Pi because Matrix.org is a honeypot.
It's not a honeypot. It only tracks metadata. It probably doesn't even use it.
The only sus thing is that the main server for you've heard about this? The main server for Matrix.org is literally next door to the what is it?
The Mossad?
Yeah, Mossad or JDIF or whatever. In Israel, which is weird. But other than that, the conversations are still encrypted, so we know they can't.
The protocol is solid.
Yeah, the protocol is solid and open source, so they might track like message data, like who you're talking to and when, which I don't really care if they have that information. But if you care, you can. That's the great thing about decentralized communications. Yeah. If you do care about that, you can, set up your own server, which is actually pretty simple. Especially, it's actually Synapse, which is the server
Yeah.
core software for Matrix, I've heard kind of sucks.
Yeah.
To like, it's kind of a fiddly.
Yeah.
Like XMPP is supposed to be much easier, but XMPP, I have my own problems with
Yeah.
that. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, de-skilling. So our grandparents or those might here, people who live in places, right, would have all this knowledge, have all these skills that are just standard, like the same way we are sort of expected in society to have a bunch of skills with computers or being able to drive, for example, being able to navigate a transport network. Like all of these things, these are just skills that you need in daily life. So we just have them, right? We're taught them in school or we're taught them by our parents, etc.
Yeah, and they're really good. Let's say about that. Please message me at matrix.org.
Yes.
You can make an element account like really fucking easy.
Yeah, and you should be using encrypted communications.
And if you message me and you're cool, you might get into the secret club.
You might get into the secret club.
Yeah.
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 So, they're, just like we have all of these skills that are necessary in daily life, our ancestors, people would have had all these skills in order to preserve food, like really useful skills like knowing which wild plants are edible and knowing how to preserve those foods so that you can last through the winter without refrigeration and stuff, or without. What is there a way to like say should I just say electronic refrigeration? Like, what's the best phrase to say?
Industrial refrigeration.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Without
large scale refrigeration.
Without technological high tech.
Maybe.
I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. Without fridges.
Yeah. Fridges are cool too.
Fridges are cool. Literally.
Oh,
they are literally cool.
Yeah, you compress gas and then it gets cold.
It's so sick.
It's so cool.
Fridges are cool. I'm not anti-fridge by any means. I'm actually extremely pro-fridge.
Like the thing is, like, we like technology.
Yeah, we love technology. It's
just not sustainable.
It's not in the way that a lot of people use
yeah.
it. I think that technology is not by itself unsustainable.
Yeah.
I just think
technological knowledge is sustainable, but technology, like technology in an industrial setting is not sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've gone through a process of de-skilling as a society where we don't, and like our parents and us, if we.
You want to talk about workshops?
Okay, I'll talk about workshops.
Okay.
Our parents and us have lost this knowledge of how to ferment foods and cure foods and stuff like this that are really, really useful and delicious. You ever had fucking sauerkraut? That shit tastes good. I just had it for the first time today and I'm like, damn, that shit tastes good. I'm in love with kefir right now. I'm going to start fermenting my own kefir soon, hopefully, which is going to be sick.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cool. I'm going to be fermenting my own kefir. And kefir tastes amazing and it's really good for you. Drink kefir. Don't drink Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, don't drink like fucking...
Look at this. Look at this. I don't even like Dr. Pepper. I haven't drank any of this. Yeah. This was all during the filming of this video.
That was like 2 hours too.
That's true. But that is a lot of Dr. That's not too much.
Yeah.
I'm a
fucking sugar addict. I'm so addicted to sugar. I mean, I drank like most of it too.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah.
What, you like Iron Brew now?
Yeah.
We should go to Scotland. You can just get a train and go there.
We can go to Scotland.
We
should go to the mountains. I love mountains.
It's gonna be cold as fuck. You're from Estonia. You'll be fine. I'm a pussy bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to go to the mountains. Mountains are so fucking cool.
Should we go to Ben Hur? That's the tallest mountain in the UK.
Yes.
It's in Scotland. That would be so sick. Climbing Ben Hur. I don't know if you should climb it. That's kind of hard. I don't think you could climb it. It's not. It's like you just walk it.
I don't think you could climb it.
Yeah, I'm unfit.
I could climb it.
You could definitely climb it. I have actual deformities, by the way. I'm not just unfit. I have
so many deformities.
I'm trying to make excuses for myself here.
Yeah.
I should work up to climbing Ben Hur.
Yeah.
We should climb a smaller mountain.
Yeah, we should.
I would. The problem with this is that you have to get a car, really.
Oh.
Or like it's hard. Like they don't have trains
to
get to the mountains.
It's fine from. Can't you get to like a town near the mountains through a train?
Maybe.
I mean, I know you can in like Austria. Because I've gone to the mountains in Austria.
I was looking up how to get to the Lake District because that's also a natural beauty place with loads of mountains, and it seemed like you can get there by train, like in the area, but to get to the countryside where the mountains are, you need to drive.
I mean, you can also walk there.
That's a long walk. I don't know. I would need to work up to that. I mean, cycling would be ideal, but I don't have a bike.
That's true.
I could buy a bike when I get my money out. Bikes are great. I'm
Bikes are
a
great,
massive fan of bikes.
but I don't think it's sustainable in the place you live. The bikes. Like, I don't
You
think.
think people will steal it?
I mean,
Or just keep it inside?
I just think you can't really go around here with a bike that easy because look at the fucking conditions.
What do you mean?
Like, there's cars just fucking pushing people on the streets all
Yeah,
the time.
people cycle all the time in London.
I haven't seen
it's very dangerous.
Yeah, but I haven't seen anyone cycle where we are.
Yeah, that's true. People
Yeah.
don't cycle here.
Yeah, I don't think like cycling here.
There is a house nearby
Yeah.
that has like 100 bikes in its front yard for sale, and I'm pretty sure they're all stolen.
Yeah.
Like, why would you have 100 bikes?
There's also fucking supercars everywhere here for some reason.
Oh yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. It's odd.
London's weird.
London is weird.
You haven't really seen. All you've seen of London is.
I've seen important parts.
You've seen the ghetto where I live.
Yeah. I've seen the central London.
You've seen central London.
I've seen Paddington Station.
Yeah, and that's
I've been in the underground.
Yeah, which is the best part of London.
Yeah. And we've been to like random places.
Yeah, we've been to Soho and stuff.
Yeah.
But we need to. I feel like we need to go. Like, I don't know. There's loads of places I want to show you around, and I'm too lazy and busy to do it because I'm a shit person. But
you're not a shit person. Eventually.
Let's get back.
We have years.
We do have years. That's true. Let's get back to the actual video and not just have a conversation.
It's like an hour and 45 minutes. Who fucking
Should we try and make it to 2 hours?
Fuck it.
It's only 15 more minutes.
Fuck it.
Yeah, 2 hour long video of us just shouting at you about veganism. Remember when this video was about veganism?
That was like an hour and 15 minutes ago.
What was I talking about before we talked about Scotland?
I fucking know.
Oh yeah, de-skilling and workshops.
Yeah, workshop.
We were talking about fridges are cool. Literally, they cool things down. I have 2 of them. That's how much I like fridges. But they rely heavily on industrial civilization. So, and fermented things just taste good and they're really good for you.
Also, I don't think I can go for 2 hours actually.
You don't think so?
I'm really tired.
Okay, I'll just go on a rant.
Workshops and video.
Workshops then video end. Yeah. Okay, I might be able to make the workshops thing 15 minutes. Okay. If I can push it to 15. Okay.
I'm not gonna pee, I think.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Peeing is generally. You did drink a lot of Dr.
I drank a lot.
We're not gonna sleep tonight. That has so much caffeine in it.
It doesn't have that much caffeine.
I mean,
I drank 2 bangs every day for like a week.
Yeah, but we didn't drink the bangs at midnight, at 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's just Dr. Pepper. It's not that much caffeine.
I
can sleep like straight after chugging a Monster too.
I can't.
Yeah.
I will not sleep tonight.
I think you'll sleep.
I'll sleep, but I'll sleep at 6 a.m.
You had like half of an Iron Brew.
The thing about caffeine and me is it even if I don't feel caffeinated, it just stops me. I just can't fall asleep. Mm-hmm. It's really annoying. Yeah. If I drink caffeine late, I didn't even think about it. I mean, I did think about it, and I just sent it anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be awake for a long time. That's fine. I have an animated marathon.
I can stay awake. I can game.
You're so cool.
Yeah.
You just look cool, and this configuration. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna stop doing that on camera. Let's go back to. Okay, so. Here's my take. An hour and 47 minutes into the video. Oh my god, what the fuck? So, it gets a little nationalist here. Just a little bit nationalist. So, back in the day, the English won a shitload of wars. The reason was that we had the best longbowmen in the world by far. They were insanely good, and we had a shitload of them, like loads, and they were just boom, 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 boom. Arrows, right? That's how boom, boom. That's how archery works, right? I don't know, right? The French used to capture the English longbowmen, and they'd cut their 2 fingers off, these 2 fingers, so they couldn't draw a bow back. And so during the 100 Years' War, and so when they were going into battle against the French, to tease the French, they would go like this, to be like, I still have my 2 fingers, I still have them, you haven't captured me, yeah. And so this became a British insult. This isn't a thing in America. Like in America they just do this, but this, if you do this, it kind of means wanker. I mean this means wanker, but this is like, fuck you bitch. And all because of the French and longbows. So anyway, the reason the English were so good at being longbows is that it was required by law that every man of able body, every man of able body, not children, but every man of able body on Sunday after church goes into a field and practices longbow basically all day, for hours. There was everyone did so much longbow practice that you can identify an age and date a skeleton without any techniques, like no carbon dating or anything like that. If you find a skeleton of someone from this era, you just know because they did so much longbow that it changed their skeletal structure because they practiced so much drawing the bow and shooting it. And the English were the best in the world at longbow. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be great to be the best in the world at something again? Longbow isn't that useful anymore, but what if there was something else we could be the best of the world in? And so I was thinking, we should be the best of the world at fixing things, because fixing things is really good. Fixing things. How do we do this? Here's my plan. I call it workshops. It's inspired by hacker spaces. Within reach of people in populated areas, there are these workshops that are sort of run by the government. What's there is, let's say you have a chair, a wooden chair, and the leg broke off. And you're a woodworker, or maybe you live in a flat, right? You don't have a space to fix. You don't have a space to have tools to fix a fucking wooden chair or whatever because you live in a flat. But you can take that chair down to the workshop, and there's a big space where you can use the tools.
Do you know what I did? The coolest thing I've done in a while. When I was at my grandma's in a cabin, I broke the fucking bed, right? And we just got a plank. We got a drill. We got some fucking screws, and we just fucking fixed it. We took the broken thing out. We put a new fucking plank in. It was so fucking cool.
Fixing things is fun.
Yeah.
It's why I use Linux. So that sort of thing, right? You have a wood workshop, right? And you might not know what the fuck you're doing when you fix a chair. But right now, the way the system works is something's broken. Let's say your computer's broken, your laptop is broken. You take it to the laptop repair center. They take it behind the desk, fix it in a closed off area, and then you come back a couple days later and they hand you the fixed laptop. This is a terrible way to do things, and you give them money, right? Terrible way to do things. What if instead you took your broken laptop to your local workshop? There's people there that know how to fix laptops. Instead of taking it away and doing it in a secret alley, they do it right in front of you and talk you through the process. And then, next time your laptop breaks, you can take it down to the workshop and use the tools there, the soldering irons, and fix it yourself. And then, if someone else comes in with a broken laptop, you know how to fix it, and you help them.
Yeah.
And if you get really good at it, the workshop hires you.
And it's also a good social place.
It's a good place to hang out and socialize and stuff, of course. Definitely serve tea there, and biscuits. So this is the plan. We have these workshops with metalworking area, woodworking area, and laptop repair area, based electronics repair area. I feel like those are the three main things.
Yeah.
And so...
Dude, actually, we had a similar thing when I was in school, because we had the fucking... What's it called when the teacher had woodworking shit at school?
We just call it woodworking.
But it was also metalworking sometimes.
Workshop.
Yeah, we had workshop, right? And if you had something that you wanted to do, of course there were limitations because it was a school setting.
Yeah.
You could just go down to their workshop, right, and just use their tools. If you had a project or something that was viable and not against school fucking standards and stuff.
That's what it should be, basically. That's the idea. Just a ton of little workshops dotted around the place where you can take your broken shit. Some of them will be small, some of them will be really big.
Yeah.
How do we fund this? It's government subsidized, first of all, but secondly, you need a membership. Now, the membership scales with income.
Yeah.
So, because if you're really rich, you probably, it doesn't matter, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you pay fucking £25 for
yeah,
month.
But if you're broke, you pay £1 a month, right?
Yeah.
Which is nothing for access to the workshop, right? And it's not like you need to go through a big bureaucratic process. You just go there and give them £1, right? And if you don't have a membership, again, you can just go there and give them £1. It's not like a big deal.
Yeah.
And that would easily, with enough people using it, that would easily fund it, plus government subsidy. you're fucking fine, mate. You may not be able to hire too many people, but I imagine there would be loads of people who would be willing to volunteer because people want to share their skills and stuff. And also, it would become a social place, so people would just hang out there, like hackerspaces are, but better because hackerspaces kind of suck. And communal. We don't just want, because the thing about hackerspaces is they only attract a particular type of person, right?
Yeah.
But this would be just like, hey, you're just a Nigerian grandma, single mother. You're a Nigerian single mother, and your laptop broke or your iPhone broke or whatever. You dropped your iPhone screen. That's like, instead of taking it to the iPhone repair shop and paying out of the arse, you take it to the workshop and they're like, here's how you repair screens. And the next time you drop your phone, you just take it to the workshop and do it yourself.
Yeah.
And that's like such a thing. And then your kids come with you and they learn how to fucking fix it. And then England becomes a whole fucking country of people who know how to fix things when they break. And that massively reduces waste.
Yep.
Great for the environment and great for, like, it's a great social program. Because it just improves people's lives. And that's my idea. Workshops.
Okay, I know how to push it to 2 hours.
How?
I want to talk about my dark circle under eye theory that I just developed today.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys know bipolar isn't actually like a fucking mood disorder technically. Right? Bipolar isn't something that happens to your mood.
Yeah.
It's a circadian rhythm disorder which affects your mood, right? But fundamentally the thing that's broken is the circadian rhythm, right? And there's no real way to fix it. You're just kind of fucked if you have bipolar, right? And the thing I've noticed, right, is a lot of people who are either bipolar or schizo or whatever have dark circles under eye, no matter like how much you sleep, right? And since it's a circadian rhythm disorder, it would make sense that sleep is affected in a way that you just have dark circles under your eye like all the fucking time if you're bipolar.
That's
my theory.
that's so sick.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that's a good theory.
Have you wanted to research the fucking...
What are dark circles?
Yeah.
We're so close to 2 hours. Skin beneath both eyes appears darkened. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that.
but why does it appear darkened? Wikipedia.
Periorbital dark circles. These are not that bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is minor. There are many in hereditary. It could be hereditary.
Yeah.
The blood vessels dilate.
Yeah.
It seems like that.
Yeah.
Fatigue. Paleness of skin, allowing the blood underneath the skin to become more visible and a better source needed. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The bloods are good.
It's definitely a blood thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it looks like a bruise.
Yeah.
So it's definitely... I feel like it's just the blood vessels dilating.
Yeah.
But why?
Because it's...
Why specifically there?
I think it just happens in your head or something. And that's just where it's visible because it's like the soft of the skin. Maybe?
I feel like this is just like no one knows.
Yeah. It's like sleep. No one knows how sleep fucking works.
Yeah, no one knows how dreams work, no one knows how sleep work, no one knows how brain work.
Yeah.
No one has any idea how brain work.
Yeah.
Because brain doesn't work. It's all
work.
your fucking stomach.
Yeah.
Your gut-brain axis, which is why you need to eat fermented foods. They'll make you smarter. I'm gonna go drink some fucking kefir right now. On camera, I'm gonna chug kefir, and then I'm gonna get smart. You're gonna watch it in real time. I'm gonna get smart.
Anyway, subscribe to SRS, my fucking RuneScape channel, where I post videos of me playing RuneScape. It's a good channel. I make good videos. I just play RuneScape, and that's why I don't post anything on my main channel generally, because I just like playing RuneScape all day. And I've actually always just wanted to be a Let's Player. Like, if you look at like things I've made generally, like the things I have the most fun with are like Let's Play kind of things. So that's kind of just what I like doing.
We should show the horseshoe theory of the diet thing. Do you remember that image?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the horseshoe of diet. This is how you're supposed to.
Can you get it up while I chug
Yeah.
cafe? I just ate a piece of ham because every time I go to the fridge, I take a piece of ham because we bought too much ham.
I mean, we bought a thing of ham, but it was just too big.
It was a good deal though.
It was a great deal.
Iceland. That's why mums go to Iceland. That used to be their tagline. I don't know if it still is. That's why mums go to Iceland.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's some kefir. It's unsweetened, obviously, unflavoured. If you drink sweetened or flavoured fucking...
Kefir with honey is so fucking
No, but
good.
that's what I'm saying. Don't buy it with sweetened in it. Put it in
honey.
yourself.
Yeah, put
honey. Oh, it's
honey and kefir is the fucking
It's actually the fucking best thing ever invented. Okay, here's the thing. You know, like Soylent and Huel, how they're like, it's a nutritionally complete meal and a drink. This is the real version of that. This is the version of that doesn't kill you. This is a nutritionally complete because it's milk. It's designed to be nutritionally complete for baby cows. It's all they drink. It's also all humans drink. Although it's hard to get breast milk kefir, but I'm sure it's possible.
Okay, this is the.
Should I make it my
Portion
mission to
here,
get breast milk kefir?
No.
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 This is also unfortunately cow's milk kefir.
Yeah.
Ideally, it would be goat. But anyway, cheers. Itadakimasu. So good. The more you drink it, the better it tastes.
I got the image up later.
Okay.
Do you repeat the sugar?
Okay. So this is the horseshoe theory of consumables. We'll start on the left side. Uber health. Foods by God's own grace. To see his earth and your body as divine objects. Raw milk. Local eggs and honey. Seasonal veg. Offals. Grass-fed beef and butter. Your grandmother's recipe. These are all great. We should buy some offal, actually.
Yeah.
It's super cheap. It's like ridiculously cheap. And it only tastes bad if you cook it badly. You ever had offal before? You know what it is?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then slightly down on the horseshoe, these are all in the good to consume area. Yeah. Slightly down, anything fermented, and good Mexican food from a family-run joint. That's not an option here in the UK, but if you're in America, yeah.
Yeah, it should go like some by so we should go to the.
I was going to go all the way around.
No, I think this makes more sense.
Okay, so on the other side, on the right side, in the good to consume. Am I talking too much, or do you want to read it?
I don't like talking.
That's fine. On the other side, from Uber Health, in the good to consume category, is depravity and indulgence. To be human, to be sick and begging for mercy, to know despair and glory. Cigarettes, horse tranquilizers, 0-calorie energy drinks, Tic Tacs, not eating. Cake pop that matches outfit. And then there's a picture of Marlboro Reds and White Monster.
Fucking Marlboro Reds and White Monster is so fucking good.
I love Marlboro Reds so much.
We can have them in Estonia because they're fucking cheap.
Oh, hell yeah.
And we can just drink White Monster, have Marlboro Reds and be fucking chilling. It's so fucking cool walking home from the store with a fucking can of Monster and Marlboro Red. Just smoking the shit, drinking the shit. It's the fucking best experience of all time.
I don't like White Monster that much. I mean, I will drink it. I think it's okay.
Yeah, you can just have the normal Monster.
Last time I had a can of White Monster, it made me feel sick.
You can just have the normal
Then again,
Monster.
I bought the big can.
The big can is only slightly bigger, but it's too big. The big can of White Monster is such a fucking scam because it's like, oh, it's a big can. Yeah, but it's too much. Yeah. It's just too much. But you can have the normal Monster. Yeah.
Okay, now in the zone of moderation. Now on the left side, this is the Uber Health side still, right? Slavic food, tinned fish, anything pickled, homemade bread, natural yogurt, and homemade hummus. All of these things are delicious.
Yeah.
I love tinned. I just ate yesterday I just ate tinned fish out of the can and it was amazing. Mackerel, canned smoked mackerel. It was so good. It was a bit middle class. It was from Morrison's. Ooh. If you're British, you know what I'm talking about. Bit middle class, but kind of worth the money because it's really, really good. Anyway, on the other side, gas station beef jerky, hot dog at ballpark, diet soda, brackets, spiritually ugly, weed, yogurt with sugar, and store-bought hummus. Okay, now we're entering the zone of danger. This is right at the bottom of the horseshoe.
And this is the bad to consume.
You can kind of see. Yeah, right, the horseshoe.
Yeah.
This is the bad to consume, yeah. Dry pasta. We eat so much dry pasta. It's cheap and it's delicious. What can I say? Almond milk. I agree. Oat milk is in purgatory. Almond milk is anything milk.
Almond milk is nice in cooking, actually. Like
in what?
If you're like baking with almond milk.
What did I just do?
I don't fucking know. Just can't say it.
Yeah.
But baking with almond milk is actually pretty good.
I've never done that.
Like I made like vegan fucking cinnamon rolls, and they're actually really good. Like they tasted like just normal cinnamon rolls. I used almond milk and like fucking margarine instead of butter, and they were fucking nice. They tasted nice.
I have bigger problems with margarine than I do with almond milk.
Yeah.
Almond milk is
Yeah, but it tasted nice at the end of the day.
If it tasted nice, it tasted nice.
Yeah.
You should avoid seed oils, though.
Yeah, but like, if I'm making food for my program, they have to be vegan, so...
Oh, that's so sad.
Whatever.
Whatever.
It tastes like normal cinnamon.
Okay, I believe you.
Yeah.
But then that's how
actually
they get
quite
you. That's how they get you.
That actually, the almond milk was kind of nicer than normal milk.
I believe. I don't have a problem
tastes
with
nice.
using almond milk and
Yeah.
baking. Really,
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I do have a problem with using margarine instead of butter.
Yeah, like, it's not ideal, but it's kind of fine, like, taste-wise.
I don't know. I'm a big butter fag.
I mean, I get into butter sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really into butter.
I put the secret to how restaurant food tastes good is that they use way more butter and way more salt than you would use
That's
at home.
true. I went through an entire phase that lasted for like a year where I just put too much salt in everything and just lived like that. And then one day I realized, hey, why do I feel like shit constantly? Maybe it's because I'm eating like fucking insane amounts of salt in every fucking
I went
meal.
through a phase. That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
I went through a phase where every time I made a pasta sauce, at the end of it, just like at the end of cooking, I would take a knob of butter and then just melt it into the pasta sauce. And it tasted so good, but I had to stop doing it because there's so much fat and calories.
Yeah.
But
also, normally I will not drink this much Dr. Pepper.
These are extenuating circumstances.
These are extenuating circumstances. If you give me the opportunity to drink this much Dr. Pepper while I'm gaming, I'll do that. But if I'm not gaming, if I'm just like chilling, I'm not gonna drink that much Dr. Pepper. But like fucking drinking soda while fucking playing RuneScape is a fucking experience.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. RuneScape is actually a game that's like super fucking nice if you're high. Like half of RuneScape players are fucking stoners.
Yeah.
Because
Like when you don't do anything.
Yeah, when you're high, you just click and just go like, whoa, I'm clicking. I actually got my first fire kill when I was high.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know.
I remember that.
Yeah, you know that Simple Flip's talking about Chad, right?
About what?
Chad. Do you think where you go through like an...
Oh, yeah.
And fucking being high, maybe just being able to do that shit.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Simple Flip is insane. He does insane things.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to this thing. I basically, this is my philosophy as well. This is like perfectly represented. Although I think dry pasta is delicious.
Well, I mean, okay, so I'm gonna respond to your one-person hypothesis. I think we're just ideologically merging. I don't think we're physically merging.
No, I think we're gonna become an abomination at some point. I think we're gonna become a Cronenberg.
I think we're just kind of fucking sharing ideas until it becomes like one fucking mess.
Yeah, I mean, it is a dangerous position to be in because of the Digi situation.
Yeah, I'm traumatized by
So
Digi.
am I.
Yeah. So, like, and other situations too, but you know.
Yeah.
Relationships are fucking lame.
They are.
Fuck relationships.
Yeah. We don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
I've never met this person. I've actually discovered that there's some things I disagree with here. But I think it's just because
So bag lettuce is on the side.
Bag lettuce definitely shit here.
Yeah. And anything that comes as a poo.
This is the thing I disagree with.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the thing of, like, a something bowl, right? In Japanese, that's don.
Yeah, but that's a different thing than...
Right, but that's still, like, if you get a gyudon, that literally is beef bowl. Right?
Yeah, but that isn't really
That isn't what they're talking about? Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm gonna Google bowl food. See if I'm right.
I think you're right. No, I do think you're right. Oh, yeah, no, that's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, this is shit.
This isn't katsu or something.
This is not katsu.
I mean, actually, this looks kind of nice.
It does look kind of nice, damn.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then on the other side, overpriced breakfast, fully agree. Fast foods, fully agree. Even though we just had Five Guys. Casseroles, fully agree. Casseroles are the worst invention ever. And anything ordered on Uber Eats, agree. And then finally, in purgatory, the lowest level. Bad that tries to seem good. Rancid deceptions. Anything prepackaged at Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's doesn't exist in the UK. I don't know what that means.
I mean, you get the vibe.
Yeah, I get the vibe.
It's a vibes-based thing.
It's a vibes-based thing.
Yeah.
I would add some things to this.
Yeah.
I would put in, like, here, IKEA meatballs.
Yeah.
I had IKEA meatballs for the first time somewhat recently, and it was an incredible... it was a mind-boggling experience.
Yeah.
The people in front of us in the line were just, like, I don't know what they were up to, but they took so long and they were arguing. That was so bad. But then it made the meatballs all the better because of waiting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have a browser without Vim keys.
Yeah, I just use Firefox.
I mean, I can use Firefox, but my Firefox has Vim keys because I use fucking Tridact or whatever.
Yeah.
Look.
I haven't fucking done any work on my Linux on this laptop. I just have the fucking thing I set up every time in Manjaro because I've reinstalled Manjaro like a million fucking times.
What the hell is happening with Firefox right now?
I don't fucking know.
Okay, I fixed it.
But yeah, I didn't really have a race. I just did the thing that I do every time in XFCE. So I think my computer looks nice. I really like the clear top bar and no hates it.
I hate the clear top bar. I think bars should be at the bottom and they should be solidly black and the text should be solidly white.
I like the clear top bar because it looks nice.
Yeah, but look, I have Vim keys on Firefox as
Yeah.
well. Like, scroll down with J, even though it's a bit laggy. But
Yeah.
scroll down with J, and then
I mean, it won't fit your eyes at all.
yeah.
Yeah, but like, look at this. It's so nice that the wallpaper goes all the way.
The
to
wallpaper,
top.
I think the wallpaper's really good on your
Yeah.
computer. Look, it thinks I'm in Finland.
I just have like Mushishi wallpapers on basically every rice video.
Mushishi is a good thing to get.
Yeah.
Hey YouTube, you want to see my rice? I don't think it's. Oh shit, we're updating on my ZSH. Shit, sick. Don't use Oh My ZSH. It's so bloated. There were way more minimal plugin managers, but I'm lazy. They took effort. Okay. Let me get my fetch.
I just have the default terminal because I'm lazy as fuck.
Yeah, this is URXVT, which is still not that great to be honest. I want to switch to ST, but that would take like a day of work.
Yeah.
Trying to get it. There we go. That's very reasonable. And then let's open like BPY Top because that's such a cool looking program. Okay. Here's my rice.
Completely non-sexual.
Wait, I'm gonna switch them around actually.
Yeah. This is the least sexual rice of all time.
It's not sexual. There's nothing sexual about this. This is my rice. I'll read out the fetch if you're interested. You're probably not. OS is Artix. I use ZSH. My window manager is BSPWM. Uptime 1058. GTK theme is Artix Dark. I have an Intel i5 CPU. My kernel version is the latest one. I have a bunch of packages. And my terminal is URXVT. Hey, at least it isn't Xterm. Actually, Xterm's kind of swagged out, but it's kind of bloated as well. I'll close Element because Element is.
Yeah.
You should switch to Gomux. It's so much better.
I should.
Isn't this just so cool?
It is very cool. I should switch to Gomax, yeah.
It's a little. There's a little couple of things that are slightly annoying about it, but I don't know. I think it's all right.
I'm just talking about Pint being trans.
About what?
Because Pint is it's this femboy YouTuber person who's very clearly
Don't tell me. I don't want to know about this. This is a fucking brainworm. I don't want this in my brain. Now I want fucking pizza.
You can make pizza.
Right now?
Not right now, but like in general.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Making pizza is so easy.
It is easy.
Yeah.
This is almost out of charge.
Damn.
You have to charge it. You're not supposed to use it while it's charging. The battery will explode.
Yeah.
But it's just a tip.
We should do today's Wordle just on camera for fun.
Should we do today's Wordle?
Yeah.
I suck at Wordle, and
We can just do it together.
I'm kind of clinked right now.
Yeah, let's just do it together.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay, today's Wordle.
Clout. Let's try clout.
Clout.
Yeah.
CLOUT.
Yeah.
Enter. Nothing. Oh
T.
wait, there's
We
a
have a
T.
T. We have a T, but not as the last one.
Train. Train. Enter. Yo, T is at the beginning of the letter,
Yeah,
and
we
we
have
have an
the.
A and then. Okay. So T. A maybe? It's not gonna be T.
Yeah.
Okay, so T-A.
Let's try and then.
Try and end. Tan. What works there? Tanbor? No, that's too long.
Yeah.
Tan. I don't know if that's good. I think the N can't be at the end. It has to be here then, right? Unless it's got a Y in it. Tawny? Like that?
Let's try 20.
Okay,
Yo!
we have 3 letters.
Yeah.
First letter's T, second letter's A.
We have
blank.
4 letters. We have 10 something I.
Tan something I.
Yeah.
Oh, tan something E. So
because N can only be here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tan something E. Let's just brute force it. Tan key doesn't work.
Tanky?
Tanky? Is that a word? Tampi, Tansi,
Tansi,
Tandi,
Tanfi,
Tanfi, Tangi, Tanhi, Tanji,
Tansi.
Tanki, Tanzi, None of these work. Tanfi, Tambi, Tammi? No.
Let's say Tanky.
Tanky? Like that?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a word, is it?
Maybe.
Right. We're 1 letter off. We are literally 1 letter off. It's so bad.
Tanky,
Is this just the word I don't know?
Maybe. Tansi, let's try Tandy.
Tandy? I don't think that's a word. What if it's EY? Just Tanny. Is that a word?
I don't think it's a word.
Tanny? I don't think that's a word either. I've never heard of a word that sounds like this. Tanvi, Tang. More common letters might be H.
Tangy!
Tangy! You're a genius. Tangy.
Yes! We got it. 5 guesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't that good. Also,
it's okay.
Share failed. I know what I did to my computer, but the sharing no longer works.
Yeah.
That was kind of shit. I feel like it took
okay.
us too many. I think no offense, but I feel like Tanky was a bad guess.
I mean, it was a word.
It was a word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's accepted it. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. Tangy was a good guess, but Tangy was the answer, and you got that, so that was good. There's also, I've heard of this, absurdal.
What the fuck is absurdal?
It's the Machiavellian version of Wordle. Don't ask me what that means. Is this it? Absurdal was an adversarial variant of the charming and currently viral word game. Okay. How do I do it? How do I play this game?
I don't think you can. It seems like it's just offline.
No, I've seen people on Tano playing this game.
Oh.
Look, you can get things like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing. So how do I play it? Absurdal. This is it.
Yeah.
Okay. You have unlimited guesses. Let's go.
Let's try fucking.
What was the one we started with before?
Cloud. But let's do a different one.
Okay. Axiom.
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, X's aren't common.
Yeah. None of these letters are common. It's a terrible one. So we have an A in the right place.
Water?
Wait, isn't this... Oh, an A in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Water?
Yeah.
Okay, water's good. Okay.
Pick the more... What's the rules again?
Oh, it's nuts. Yeah. Mechanics of Absurdal are identical to Wordle, or as close as I can make them. Among other things, they use the same word list. Blah, blah, blah. The major difference is behind the scenes. Wordle picks a secret word at the beginning of the game, and then you have to guess it. Absurdal gives the impression of picking a secret word, but instead what it does is consider your entire list of all possible secret words, which conform to your guesses so far. Each time you guess, Absurdal prunes its internal list as little as possible, attempting to intentionally prolong the game as much as possible. The easiest way to...
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's very good.
We're basically battling the computer.
Yeah.
D E T. Oh, not T. Damper. This doesn't work.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a D.
It doesn't have to be a D. I don't know why I had D. I thought for some reason I had it in my head that it has to be a D. Could be the E at the start even.
Yeah.
Should we stop the video? Because
No,
this is
fuck
too
it,
bad.
fuck it. It's 2.5 hours in.
Okay, fuck it. L A E A. Oh, there's no A there. E F. No, I feel like this is a start with a vowel type of thing, and a start with a consonant type of deal. No.
Jeans. Let's say jeans.
G-E-A-N-S. That's a good guess. A is in the correct place. Okay.
And we got this S is somewhere.
Yes. Wait, but the A is in the correct place. Okay.
Yeah.
So it has to be like, and the E is not in the correct place. Yeah. E. No, there's no fucking thing. Ava. Evangelion. Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Maybe it's our feminist.
Oh, smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
Wait, but there's no E or A here.
Choice.
Sheep. Shade.
Shade. Nice.
Does that have all the... No, it doesn't, but...
Yo!
We got the S, the A, and the E.
Yeah.
But we just have the consonants. So we just go through it, right? S... It's not sure, which is actually surprising. Skate? Oh, no. Yeah, skate would work, right?
Yes. Oh, no, we have no T.
Oh, we have no T. Fuck. Spade? No, no D. Space. Right?
Yeah.
Space works, I think.
Let's try space.
Okay. No. Fuck. I mean, that might have been the word, but it probably changed it. S. Slake. Slag. Slave?
Let's try slave.
Ooh. We got another letter. The V exists and it's in the correct place.
Yeah.
So we just have to force it, right?
Scave, spave,
Swave. Swave? Suave.
Yeah, suave.
Yeah, that has to be it, right?
Yeah.
What other fucking words are like this? Yes! 7 guesses to fucking absurdal. We're sick.
Yeah,
we're fucking cracked. Oops. I don't know if this actually works because of my fucking Linux.
Yeah.
I feel like that was pretty sick.
That was pretty sick.
Okay. Got absurdal in, what was it, 7 guesses? Proof is in the pudding.
This is just a slice of life at this point.
Maybe we should just live stream our entire life.
No.
Low power.
Sad. Give me one more hit.
Damn nicotine addict. I thought you were like, I need to protect my liver. No cigarettes for me.
I mean, extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah. I normally would not use this vape more than like once a day, maybe.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's legitimate. I'm a fucking menace.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. So, like,
Yeah.
thinking about the process of building Gothic
The
cathedrals.
fucking cathedral building is so cool. It just took like 30 years and everyone.
It's so.
was involved.
There was a. I found from this
There's
website.
a cathedral on a fucking small island in Estonia. It's so fucking cool.
That's sick.
Yeah.
We could go to a. If we go to Scotland, we could go to a castle. There are loads of castles in Scotland.
Castles are cool. I like castles.
They are cool.
Yeah.
Yo, we should go to a little like steam railway or something. You
Yeah,
like trains, right?
I like trains.
How much do you like steam trains?
Less than you, but I like steam trains.
Are you like a steam? I don't even like steam trains that much.
Yeah.
I prefer diesels personally.
I'm more into like train infrastructure when it comes to
That's
trains.
true. I mean, I'm mostly into the tube.
Yeah.
As far as trains.
I just really like train stations, and I like trains because they come
Then-
on time and they arrive on time and it's nice.
That is very nice.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you, and I wish that was true.
Is it not true in the UK?
National Rail's infamously kind of shit with being on time.
Sad.
It is sad.
Everything is on time in Estonia. It's so fucking nice.
That's sick.
Yeah. I've only had like a train delay like once in my life, basically.
There's a famous thing with National Rail that
And then it went really fast, so it would still make it on time.
That's sick.
Yeah.
There's a famous thing with the National Rail in the UK that like one year it snowed and they stopped all the trains because it snowed, and when they were like, didn't you know that it was gonna snow? Like it snows almost every year, and they said it's the wrong type of snow. And that's why they had to stop all the trains. But this is what's crazy.
Yeah.
I found from this website, there's a canal in China that literally took like 200 years to build. Just continuously digging this. It's called the Grand Canal.
I like Chinese fucking mega projects.
It's so sick.
Sometimes. They're so fucking cool.
Look at this shit.
Like,
Look how long it goes all the way from here, from Chang'an
also,
all the way down to Hangzhou.
Also, I'm this close to developing canal autism, like the Suez Canal and the Panama
We should
Canal.
go to. There's a bunch of canals in London.
Yeah.
London has a massive canal network.
Yeah, but that's not as cool as like fucking splitting continents in half.
That's true. That's true.
That's so cool. Like the only reason why fucking Asia and Africa are separated is the Suez Canal.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only reason North America and South America are separated
Separates because of the Panama Canal. Yeah.
Canals are so fucking cool.
Canals are extremely cool. I fully agree. Canals are a great way to get around.
Yeah.
I
wish we still had mega projects, but we just had like retarded space shit.
Space is stupid.
Space is stupid.
Space is fucking stupid.
It's so
I hate space.
Fuck space.
Fuck space.
Apparently, like, I like space. I need more fucking telescopes.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the new James Webb telescope.
James Webb's gonna be so cool.
It's up there now. It's not active yet.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to the James
so am
Webb
I.
results.
That you're so cute.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that on camera.
You can say it on camera.
Hazakashi.
It's
But-
2.5 hours and no one's watching.
That's true. Yeah, look, this is the environmental effects of peat mining. This is a picture of the Netherlands now.
I mean, we have fucking a shit ton of peat mining in Estonia, but it stopped because of ecological reasons.
But that's all from back in the fucking day.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this shit's crazy. This is brazy, man.
Yeah.
Look how cool Mission Chan is.
I'll read Mission Channel at some point.
It looks like a real guy made it.
Yeah.
But I need to get it gets more like I feel like
We
the
should
art
catch
style
up on
gets.
Magic.
I should catch up on Magic.
Yeah.
That's true. Are you caught up on Magic?
Yeah.
Nice.
It only has like 3 chapters.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I think we should stop recording at this point.
Yeah.
I think
we're done.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed fucking slice of life.
Man, this was crazy. Good luck, anyone who decides. What the fuck do we call this video?
Klinked Deep Ecology parenthesis double bucker.
Double bucker?
Yeah.
What if we call it Klinked Deep Ecology brackets SOL for slice of life?
Nah, I think double bucker is
Double bucker?
more conveys the
I don't know
spirit.
about double bucker.
It's like triple
It's kind
bucker
of.
with 2.
I got that bit.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit It doesn't represent. I mean, it does. We are 2 backers, but it
represents the running theme.
There's no running theme of anime in this.
That's true. But it's still 2 buckers.
That's true.
Yeah.
We should. What about Klinked Deep Ecology brackets gag manga.
Yo, this would be fucking. That's a sick title.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed Klinked Deep Ecology brackets gag manga.
Yeah, very mentally ill.
We're very mentally ill. We have serious, deep psychological problems, and we are not. And the worst thing is, we don't even want to get better.
I'm sick and I don't
I'm
even
sick,
wanna
and I don't even want to get better. That's the worst thing about it. You ever heard of women?